competitive, but I always give the edge to the team who won the last series just because that's the team that figured it out more. If we want to be consistent with that, we look at Astralis. Every time they had a rematch versus a team, that always meant more than their first match because they always ended up winning it. So I think in terms of adaptation, that says more about the other team. And this is really cool. Or actually,
the handheld cameras.
Yeah, so you've got someone in the Furia media squad, or like someone who's there for social media to like film stuff while they're in the boot camp. So at least we get some. It kind of feels like a LAN, at least a little bit more.
We're getting a little closer.
Yeah.
Step by step, we're getting there, guys.
Yeah.
You know, a little improvement here, piece by piece. So when we get the pop-offs, this is one of the reasons that's like, damn, if only we
get the VR pop-offs now.
Yeah. You know, if he's standing behind somebody who doesn't know, maybe the chair gets thrown into the cameraman, camera gets dropped. You know, real action-packed adventure, perhaps.
When Art slams his table and the webcam falls off, we can see it from third person now.
And here we have, of course, Honda, the 6th player taking the spot of the new 5th.
That wouldn't be a joke, okay? If you forgot to put on deodorant, you have to go put it on. You can't play the whole match fist bumping, raising your arm, no deodorant.
You know, G2 have been playing from their own places for months now, so maybe that's exactly what's happening here. Nexa is not accustomed to being back with the guys.
Sharing a stick.
Yeah.
Funny that we run out, huh? Okay, here we are. Inferno as a first map in this series. Potentially 3 on the board. It's been close in the past. It wasn't so much the last time around. But it's a new year.
2021, kicking it off between Furia and G2. Let's see if we get more of the same or something fresh in what could be a very explosive best of 3. Furia to the CT side, obviously, and K Serato going to be taking a little bit of a peek as Art takes a little bit of a fight and bites off more than he can chew. Kenny S with the opening kill. Yuri responding down banana, gets himself a second, and he's got a player tucked up close. May not be known to G2, but now that they've taken him out of the situation, it is Honda at bat, and he gets no trade frag. 2v2, minute 20, plenty of time to play, but they want this B site with those 2 kills, and the closest rotate, well, of course, that's Vinny. He holds off on the other side of the smoke. Ooh. Down goes Vinny up close. K Serato, all that's left over.
Yeah, that's he didn't respond to the amount of noise that was going by him. And
there's 3 players.
That smoke came up, and yeah, there was already somebody in front of it. Always tricky to be standing in front of a fading smoke. We all know the name of the game when it comes to that. Yeah, K Serato, tall task.
Nobody's going to give him anything here. Nobody's going to give him the peek that he needs to try and unravel the B site, so we have it right there. G2 Esports picking up the first round of map 1.
Look, we've got K Serato no glasses in the photo. We get to spectate him again.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a totally new person.
Who the heck? Is that Yuri?
I hate when people do that. Either it's put glasses on or take glasses off.
Okay.
It takes me out of my comfort zone completely.
Makes you squeamish.
I'll have to get used to it. Yeah, so... yeah, as for G2, other storylines, I mean, they're all, like, everything's looking good for them. One of the things that I'm looking for this year from G2 is the question of whether or not the team will start to pick up again after having a really, really strong honeymoon tournament at the, I believe it was the Blast Showdown, and then falling off towards the fall final. And a lot of the players on G2 not playing so well. I think Nico putting up his end of the bargain, but, you know, Hunter really had a bad couple of events to close out the year, compared to the rest of his year, where I thought he was definitely top 10 rifler in my books. But one thing I think improved drastically was their Inferno towards the end of the year, specifically in a match versus Astralis. They didn't win, but it came very close. And I think the quality of the rounds is very high, so I'm looking for a good Inferno today here versus Furia.
3 players set up to the CT side of Banana, and it's Nico to take down the first 2. Honda's going to dive back into the sights, and he's got a chance here. Does hit 2 deeks, 3 deeks. Honda's got a 4th. Everybody hits the floor, and G2 have been slain.
That was pure glass. Hit him with a VTech peak Honda. How can you not be more nervous, my friend? What a statement round here to kick off the match. Oh, he still got it out.
Come on. Mag 7 in hand. Looking for the ace, and poor Hunter walks right into the crosshair. Oh! Shebang!
Damn!
5 frags for Honda.
You're not kidding. How you actually would be too nervous to do that if you were a regular dude. If you were just an average guy, okay? stuff like this would not be possible. When's the last time we've seen a B hold that good, let it go alone with a deagle?
Bro, that Honda's got VTEC.
He was 4 for 5 on shots.
Hit him with the turbo.
And actually aced. You have to be joking. That's something else.
And I absolutely love that stand up from Art, walks right over.
Yeah, the energy.
What does that mean for a guy like Honda stepping into these what are huge shoes left by Henny?
I think it means the world to Art, you know, to know that his new teammate here is feeling comfortable. I think that's such a big thing.
Wow.
But yo, call a pause, right? Because the adrenaline's flowing. Let that reset for a second. That's after losing a pit. Man, what did we just watch?
Kenny S hits
We watched that this early, and I mean, holy.
Kenny S immediately in all chat. Nice start.
Nice start, right? Yeah. Damn. Wow. Wow. You know what I really expected? I expected nervousness. I thought it was going to be like Bits when Bit debuted on Inferno.
Yeah.
When he played off against Astralis, and you could see the shaky spray and stuff, and he looked very nervous. I expected that, because that would be normal.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I guess we're all talking about Honda now.
Nico buys a deagle. Everybody from G2 gets a deagle. Like, all right, kid.
Yeah.
They've been inspired. Let's see if they can bounce back from that.
I mean, how long has it been since Nico's got a 4K deagle like that?
Dude.
Just saying.
And Nico's the guy that obviously took down 2 of those 3 CTs towards that B site. You know how confident G2 are after those first 2 picks, knowing that the third kid is Honda?
Yeah.
And he comes at it with the Mag 7, finds the head of Hunter. Nexa's going to pick up a deagle kill, so these pistols are working out. And Kenny S even gets himself another. Nico, close smoke, spotted, and down by Vinny. It is just Kenny S left over back in apps.
Yeah, a couple of close moments here, but that either of those kills, one on A1 or B, could have made a huge difference. Opened up one or the other site. So Kenny S coming through. We've got a player tucked Moto, and he, if he wanted to, could fly out onto the site and plant the bomb, but it seems like he's thinking he'll get peeked beforehand. Like a pumpkin. Oh man, that was like wow. That was like he just went flying off the bouncy castle, right? Just landed in the grass.
Like, who turned up the gravity? He looks at his feet, accepts his fate.
Yeah.
Arms go out.
Weird. That's great. Just breaks both legs.
Oh man, what have we gotten ourselves into?
James Banks said he almost fell off the balcony today.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How?
Just he had like his computer boxes outside and then almost tripped on them in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Like 7 a.m. I mean, imagine falling off your balcony is one thing, but imagine falling off your balcony at 7 a.m. If your day couldn't get any worse.
James Banks has really bad luck when it comes to balconies.
Yeah, especially when you're around, Connor. You want to tell him a story?
Well, one time we were here in Denmark, actually. We were casting an event, and me and James, we had finished work. We were back at the hotel. I was hanging out with James on the balcony. It's like 8 in the morning, you know, we're doing night shifts. But we had to go have breakfast, you know? Me and James just chilling. I decide to leave. I'm like, Banks, I'll catch you in a little bit, all right, man? Peace out. I walk inside. I close the door behind me because it's cold outside, and I walk off.
Naturally.
45, 50 minutes later, we're down at the breakfast buffet like, damn, man, where is James? He said he was coming right down.
Waiting for him the whole time.
Suddenly, James walks in the room. I have never seen James Banks that pissed off.
I thought he was red because he was cold.
He looks at me and goes, you're an asshole. What? What, James? What did I do? Well, when I walked inside, it turns out I closed the door and locked it. James Banks had to scream for help to somebody across the road to come tell the hotel that he was locked outside for 45
another building.
minutes.
He had to yell at a woman in another building on another balcony to help.
Oh, wait, bro. I'm locked out here.
Yeah.
Vinny is holding, and Honda is successful. He's got himself 2 kills with utility, 3 kills, 4 kills, looking for the ace. He does it again.
What?
He's like, is it always this easy?
Dude, what is going on? What? 2 aces? Already? I mean, wait, what? I mean, I don't care that it's... I mean... Plus, like, lots of util damage here. I mean, it is just the anti-eco ace. Come on, what is going on? How can you just get another ace like that easily? He doesn't even know how to react. He's already out of reactions.
He is aced in 50% of the rounds he has played.
If he didn't get that Deagle ace, Art would have got up out of his chair. He was out of reactions too.
Sure. Well, Vinny kicks this one off quick. We get G2 back in with a bye. Obviously way more capable in this one, or at least they're supposed to be. Down to the 5v3 immediately. And they already have no response. Lackluster utility here for G2. Single frag, or excuse me, flash and a smoke. But Aminex got a little bit of an opening. That's the one saving grace. He has an open route here towards Arch. Nobody keeping him locked in. And Kenny S picks up the headshot towards the B site.
Yeah, one thing to watch for. Okay, let's see if Art decides to go for the reaggression. With Aminex lurk in play, Art's actually falling back and watching this. He's gotten to a great spot. I mean, Aminex really just gonna have to hard clear this, and we'll see if he will. But this will be the important kill, and he actually does after taking a spot of damage. This leaves Art in a tricky position. He's gonna have to decide where he'll get the first free peek from, but Aminex does not wrap.
So does Art stay alive? Just make sure his teammates can come in with the retake. Oh, he hits that flick. But 1 HP makes the difference, and Aminex stays standing. Kenny S, well, he stays tucked behind these boxes. Hearing them walk in, we got G2 supposed to be back on the board. And Quesarado, I may think he concedes. Goes for the jump up, hoping for the frag grenade, knowing that Aminex low here, but I mean, there is still time to play this. He does have the kit, but as it dwindles, he decides to walk away.
Too difficult to try to pry that one open with the crossfire going on between site and CT spawn. An off shot that would have made the whole difference, right? Aminex dying there, Quesarado alive. That would have been a 2v1 in favor of Furia, but it ends up Art gets a bit unlucky, hits this insane flick, but into the legs of Aminex. But you have to also give credit to Aminex, the fact that he hard cleared the tree position and then also got into a good spot to watch for Art, right? He wasn't sitting in a standard spot in the coffins. He was up on top just in case that was cleared. That's a crazy shot from the Galil. But yeah, it is really just about this play right here.
And this one too, man, surviving with a single point of health. You know, that would have been a gnarly flick shot from Art
for sure. Yeah, it's hard to really like figure out what the fairest way to characterize it. You know, is it Aminex great play? Is it Art unlucky? Both seem pretty fair. Like
a mix.
Yeah, it was a very nice shot, just a result in the kill. 1 HP. It's gonna happen sometimes. That's the real question, is just like how did the round fall apart from that point? There's some really good cohesion from G2, and Aminex is such a honestly a fantastic lurker. He does it in such a way that we don't really talk about him as a lurker, right? Which is always a great sign. Anybody whose name tag immediately screams lurker to you almost has like run their playstyle stale. But Aminex is a player who stays versatile enough that he has rounds where he entries on T side, but then in the very same half will also be a hard lurk, and sometimes you won't be able to expect it. Very good awareness from Aminex in that way, and I think that's what made him just a bit more untouchable than Jax. In terms of stats, they were fluctuating a lot, so it was hard to say who was adding more. But Aminex, just too much versatility on the T side. He's one of those players who stats are going to be really hard to define him. I'd say there's certain roles that like it's a bit more clear you should have like these kinds of like levels of, you know, damage or kills. But with Aminex, there's a lot more value in just like what he does for the team in terms of his positioning.
I think Aminex also has an incredibly high skill ceiling. The first event that Nico plays with G2, we see Aminex individual form hit like a near year high.
He looked better than Nico, yeah, at that event.
And then it tapered off, as you know. I think it fell back towards our expectations. You know, we're not looking at Aminex to hard carry this team. There's a lot of talent on G2, and he doesn't need to. He shouldn't have to, rather. But we know that that's in their back pocket.
I'd like to know if the background on Art's computer was a Honda. That would be great to know. I wonder if it was a plant. He did it on purpose.
He's been inspired, right? They called him, you know, or rather they said, Honda is supposed to be an Art 2.0.
Yeah, was that Art who said that? Or was that Honda who said he wanted to be? I'll look.
I believe it was Art.
Okay.
It'd be quite confident of Honda to be like, yeah, I'm basically Art 2.0.
Yeah. Says it right beside him while he's in the room. Yeah, so Art said Honda will be kind of an Art 2.0. Yeah, that doesn't seem like actually a great idea. Like, I think Maniac said it, I mean, just to be blunt, like if you're, you know, there's barely enough room for Art. Asking for a souped up Art, a VTech Art, to come through to add on. Okay, so the high skill half, so there's 2 recorded games on HLTV with the Daytona Pound, I believe is the team that he plays on. And apparently it's the same team that VSM came up on as well, which is cool. But I've looked at his highest kill half, which is a 19 kill half on Mirage T side. And we're kind of already off to a better start versus a better team than he's ever played in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 aces and
I think
4 rounds.
You know, and that's the wild part again. We're not talking about somebody who's like just completely wrecked face and turned heads in FPL on his own and waited for a big deal and signed into a massive team like, let's say, Rops. You know, I think expectations with Rops were already way higher. Honda's a completely unknown entity
here,
essentially.
Yeah. Like
exactly.
in
Internationally,
North
sure.
America.
Yeah. But God, man, with a Deagle 4K like that into the Mag 7 ace.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the big play was over with the Deag, and we just get the Mag 7 icing on the cake.
Sure.
You know, the BM finish. And then he comes into this one, gets a kill with 2 different pieces of utility into the triple MP9 frag.
Yeah, this one's less about the eco and just being able to say you ace twice and a half for his G2 in your first game at $1 million tournament. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Gotta be feeling good about that.
Yes, I am Art 2.0.
Unfortunately, he mutters under his breath. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of a tech pause. Not exactly sure what's happening. Hopefully, it'll be solved soon.
Yeah, Nico's switching out computers. Oh, it is. That is the desktop.
Is that from GTA or is that Counter-Strike map that this has been juxtaposed into?
That's looking like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's over on Grove Street.
Okay, you'll love that.
Playing with a trophy on his desk as well, just to remind himself.
Did he edit the background and put Honda in the picture, or was he already there? When we saw it the first time.
Yeah.
Did Art know the camera's coming around? He's sneaky. I mean,
Sneaky,
he
man.
probably
Art's a sneaky guy.
Yeah, he could have planned that for sure.
So Vinny told me to watch him during the pistol.
Oh yeah, why?
Why? So we were doing a little content piece yesterday, and the gist of the content, no spoilers. You know, I'm kind of a skins expert. So I was showing Vinny around the options on the Glock, man. I was like, Vinny, you know, what's your Glock skin? You got to step your game up, buddy.
Okay.
And so I showed him some options, and you know, it's just all figurative. You know, we're not talking real skins. We're just figurative, right? And he loved the combination I made so much that he went home, bought it, put the stickers on it just the way I told him to, and then tweeted at me, told me to keep my eyes on him.
What? But so we'll see on the T-side pistol what that combination is.
It's a Glock.
But you know what it is.
I know what it is.
Feel free to spoil it if you want.
Glock 18 nuclear reactor, lime green skulls, and then he slapped that Master Chief sticker right on it. I guess he's a Halo fan.
Okay, but you told him to put the Master Chief sticker?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the whole point segment.
Maybe he's just a scrawny fan.
Listen, man, there's some Counter-Strike pros.
I've never played Halo, but if you
Skins
told me to
game's
put a Master Chief skin on or a sticker on, I'd do it.
Skins game's weak.
Yeah.
So he stepped it up a little. I appreciate the fact that he took my expertise, you know. I downloaded his config for that reason.
Yeah.
We're sharing ideas now.
One thing we're also watching here in Europe for this next stint to start the year off. Every time we come to Europe, there's a danger zone competition going on silently. On the one side, Rush and Sponge are queuing up for danger zone, and on the other side, you've got Joey and Croner just waiting for the moment that they get into a game with Rush and Sponge. And we were just on watch as they're all streaming, I think.
Yep.
And just not trying to Q snipe each other, but just ideally, you know, at one point maybe they run into each other because they've all just been grinding out wins in this game mode that they're also just popularizing all on their own.
We're trying to, man.
Yeah.
We're starting a movement.
What's your guys' like movement name? Like, what's the hashtag for your movement?
I don't know. That'd be a good idea. We'll take ideas.
Okay.
I'm open to suggestions from the public.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to remember that the highest rank in Danger Zone is
hashtag Exojump Andes.
Exojump Andes. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Howling Alphas.
Howling Alphas
is the name of the top rank.
Sure.
Far cooler than Global Elite.
I love how they use that, even though that just became a contraband skin that had controversy because of like the art that was stolen, and just it was so good. Even the remake, they used it for the final rank of Danger Zone.
They just took it. They ran with it.
Exojump Andes, is that what?
Exojump Andes. Yeah, I think that's a good. So there's
everyone gonna be cool with that.
Listen, there's multiple types of exo jumpers.
Yeah.
All right. There's different levels of Danger Zone players, and if you're using the exo jump, that is the most important thing. If you don't have exo jump, just stop playing.
So then you can bump mine without the exo jump.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then you just break your legs and die.
Okay.
So those are the exo jump Andes.
God.
The guys who throw the bump mine, fly straight up in the air, and then die on the way down like Kenny S in Pit.
I did that actually.
You did it. You absolutely did it.
The only time I've ever played Danger Zone, I played with Joey. It was his highest kill game of all time, so I just want to take some credit for that as a teammate. But partly the reason that he got so many kills was because I died doing my first bump mine, just going like right up into the air and then landing and dying early. So he was able to just clean up because I left so many kills for him to get.
I mean, you're that kind of guy though. You're a hands-on approach when it comes to learning. We tried to teach Launders how to properly bump mine. We're like,
I was already in there.
You gotta jump, crouch, and he's yeah. No, Mo, you gotta no, it's fine. Throws it on the ground, flies into the sky. Remember that yeah, I'm fine, guys. And Mo Hunt's dead.
Yeah. Never play Danger Zone again, but I have been watching.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Did Nexa dye his hair?
I don't know. Seems like Nico has rejoined the server. I've got him here in the all chat. I see Honda readying up for the team. Look, they're already giving him the reins.
I don't want to run out of material during our first game.
Yeah, we're 5 rounds deep. What's going on? I've already told my James Banks story. We've talked about Danger Zone. Prius isn't here, so we're lacking half our content.
Sag, he's not here.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah.
He's still observing, of course. Don't be concerned. Everybody.
Violently shaking his mouse, even though you can't see it in game.
He's just all the way back in California. Which means props to Prius's work ethic. I think he's starting his work day at like 2 in the morning, West Coast time.
Oh, true. I guess I'll have to just have his regular sleeping schedule.
Yeah. I've got 10 players in.
Sweet. You want to start with the game caster?
No, let's let it just stew a little longer.
Okay. G2, were they in a... I know they weren't in this room the last time that we watched them play. They were G2 in their own... They were not on LAN.
No, sir.
Oh, awesome. So that's a bit of a change.
Yep.
They're all kind of in a studio setting.
We're back.
That'll take things up a notch. And here we are, back in the game. Prius, any nods to give us? Awesome. Glad to have you, Prius. Miss you, buddy.
Let's get right in. Thank you guys for your patience. Technical issues sorted. It's a fresh new PC. So Nico should have nothing else to hold him back. Let's see if G2 can claw away this 1-round lead. See if they can shut down Honda, who still has more kills than the rest of his team combined.
Yeah. Crashing down Banana. Yuri with a kill. Got some response and A damage, but Banana control taken. 5v4 early. Great start for Furia already with a minute 20 on the clock. Couldn't ask for more, really. Oh. I'll say he is extremely fast. He missed that shot there, but I want to say there'll be shots like that he'll grab. And whoa, king of the apartments, Yuri. He's even looking for a little bit extra.
Oh, but Nico's going to give good cover. Honda's been taken out of this. We've already seen G2 claw around back. They had no business winning. Could very well happen here again. But we do get that dodge back by Art. He's safely inside of the site. Nico has to let off the gas ever so slightly. Don't forget, Kenny S only has 8 health.
They did scare him so much at the top of mid, but they didn't grab the bomb. So this would have actually been a great situation to go into B. They're going to use a little bit of utility here as well. The bomb gets collected, and Nico will start to make some forward progress, which is great. The op is behind him as they rotate in, and it looks like the CT will be clean for now, and it'll just come down to time. Molly comes down to the back of the quad. Art looking for the shot, finds it, no problem.
Nicely done. Ooh. And then he gets the headshot into Kenny S as well. So keeps 3 players up here for Furia. They double the round count, 4-2 over G2, who will now be relegated back into either a save round or just some measly pistols. I see Deagles trickling in, but big plays from Yuri here inside of the apartments, getting aggressive, falling back, and then looking for even more. But he died on that re-aggression from balcony. And that's where we saw G2 kind of slow things down and make it scary. But this shouldn't be scary with pistols.
Yeah. Of course, don't want to sleep on anything these days, but maybe you can turn it down just a notch. And don't want to die early for no reason. They'll throw some nades down Banana. And as long as they don't see presence, why not take the little bit of free map control? And even just coming halfway down and spraying through the smoke means that the T's will be a bit more paranoid about clearing out the angles as they come up, can burn some time off the clock indirectly. Like to put down the pressure. Wait, everyone's gone no glasses. Everyone's pictures have no glasses on them, but they all did before, right?
LASIK must be 50% off.
Yeah, Honda's check still coming in. I swear they all had glasses except Vinny, but anyways.
Well, they do say hindsight's 20/20.
True.
Smoke down, no response. G2, they don't even have a flashbang, can't charge through this. They've just got to sit and wait.
No nades in play, but it's a quiet move to the top of banana. You know, it's unlikely, but hey, there's a chance for maybe a plant with just 2 players here. No rotation coming in soon. Art on full notice, but not pulling out any grenades. Molly comes down, 20 seconds up. They'll have to make a decision, and Furia have played back. So again, still only 2 here.
Perfectly timed flash right as the utility fades, and here we're gonna get that big charge. That one attempt here to get through this crossfire. It should just mow them down. It should chew them up. And sure enough, Vinny and Honda able to clear the board here. No time for the bomb plant. Amanek, oh, he's gonna die after time,
that's
and
not good.
That's not good.
Honestly,
2.3K for the next one.
I will harp on that a little bit. I think even though it's just an eco, not a good sign to see them take. They're kind of baiting each other there, trying to get across the site with no nades. With the amount of time left over, they were actually just prioritizing getting the bomb down and then dying. Not really winning the round, not really getting kills. And they really looked like they were playing for themselves or just trying to get the kills, and they ended up running out the clock. So honestly, a little bit glad they got punished for that. That didn't look too good from the CT perspective. That looked way like there was too much respect there from their team. Don't want to see that.
Getting aggressive on Banana. Art finding one despite being blind. That was a 3 versus 3 at the top of Banana here. G2 trying to charge upwards. They've been consistently looking for that Banana aggression, but they've been coming out worse for wear.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, this would be an interesting stat to look at. How successful Furia have been on Banana this game.
That utility should take all the control away for them, or alternatively, force their feet forward. They do exactly that, taking to the corner, smoking off CT cross. And Art, well, he holds for now. Trying to find that perfect timing, creeping through.
Wow.
He gets Kenny off of the back of that setup, and then he goes in for second servings. Ridiculous play. Art's confidence boiling over, and Nexa reeling back. But there's Honda, peeking off of the CT cross, loses his head, and allows for that bomb to exit. There's still time for G2 to take this back.
They're going to make a decision. It's a bit weird. The CTs, I think they just want to watch the rotation, but try to play 2B based on how many times G2 have tried to end on that site. And here's where Almanac, I mean, he can really just, he can take the leash off, right? He can play for himself a bit. They need to make something happen. I think these are the moments that Almanac really shines. So we'll see what kind of information he can gather. It looks like he has prodded the correct part of the map that's wide open at the moment. Yuri's got his back turned, no eyes on Speedway. And now they just have to track down the fact that that one player's in the pit. But that might be obvious, considering I haven't seen anybody here. So we'll see what happens to Quesarado. If he gets spotted from the guy on lane, the only problem is 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and the flash just missed the mark. He can hold off this bomb. As long as he denies that, there's no chance. Almanac would have to plant here and now, and he's missed that mark.
All time.
No, not again. Don't you die.
They got to be worried. Okay, he gets back into the site. Oh my god, it comes close. Yeah.
6-2.
6-2. At least he dies with the AK too.
Yeah.
That was high likelihood he dies with nothing. Another early success story, and all 3 kills for Art. 1 at the top of Banana by the half wall, and another 2 as he keeps coming out with his fishing rod and catching them. That was pretty nuts.
Don't eat that, Kenny.
It's either like a sweater lace or something. He's got a...
Yeah. That's Vinny Shark.
That was a Vinny moment right there. Yeah, they made him a hot dog. Was that because of your casting moment?
I don't know, man.
Because of Brazilian hot dog?
Who said that?
You did.
When?
At the most important moment of a tournament.
Couldn't have been.
Called them Brazilian hot dogs. And they slammed Vinny in a hot dog for the memes. That'd be great to know. I don't know if that was because of...
I love that Vinny bald cap picture. That's my favorite Vinny photo. That's the best one.
Or it just looks like Xavier.
Yeah, bald Vinny. Okay, we got a little bit of a hesitant exit from spawn here for G2, doubling back, picking up some bells and whistles, some tidbits of utility, but it is just that AK saved by Almanac last round. Vinny wastes no time taking to the logs. He's got a smoke grenade to throw down.
Why'd you say it like that?
Logs.
Oh man, we got something new happen here for G2. They're looking to bracket control.
Arch, man.
With their mix buy. I mean,
2 rounds, Almanac's found that timing.
yeah, it's true.
So they're sniffing it out.
Maybe they want to leave it. They're trying to like leave it untested so that in the future he can go and grab it. But they're not successful beyond that. So they really need to, yeah, try to keep it fresh. And you never want to get fresh too late because it becomes obvious. So we'll see if they're feeling okay about this right now. But look at the amount of attention they've got from the CTs on the Artist Way.
Trying to pound some shots through. Quick little AUG headshot here from Vinny.
Yeah. I guess CT's so comfortable, but a really big kill off the balcony.
Remember, that is the only AK in play for G2. K Serrato starts to swing aside, and he denies the possibility of a bomb plant. Honda dies elsewhere. Amanek comes in with another crucial kill, and Kenny S, off of the Tech 9, takes a double kill. G2, 1 AK in the equation, and yet they solve the problem. They're still at half of the round count, 6-3 to the scoreboard, but still, they've got Furia in an awkward economic spot.
Yeah, I don't think G2 are playing that well right now, but I think they'd be willing to forget about these past few rounds. They got this lucky one with a couple of very good entries, great shots by Kenny S. And now, hopefully, we can turn that into a nice strategic victory with good timings and trades and a bit more efficiency. Because even what we heard from Nexa is he said, half jokingly, half not to Freya, that one of the highlights of his team is the headshots. It really is. The amount of firepower that they have is something that needs to be talked about. And they can't just be getting out-dueled and running out of time. That's just not a good look.
Well, if G2 can win a round with a single AK, I think Furia can win a round with a single AWP. And that's what Art was looking to do off of the start of this one. But then Yuri gets iced out inside of the apartments. We've got Nico here on log boost. And Vinny just crouching underneath. But Honda's going to walk into it unsuspectingly. Frag grenade's going to be great to damage Vinny. And this is substantial damage going down on Banana to the favor of G2.
Yeah, a lot of damage for sure. Pure impact kills here from Amanek. Yeah, 6 and 6, but I mean, already can put a round to his name. Already seen some of his lurk plays just be so good for the team. Even on this round, a huge trade onto Yuri, who's basically just been like the evil landlord up in the apartments, handing out evictions. With how solid he's been. One tap from the back alt for the trade. Allows G2 back into the round. So much pressure here on the AWP, but if G2 could see what we see, they wouldn't be going A.
Art's peeking around. They've had good pit smokes to cancel him out, and he drops the shot. That could have been his chance to take a player down, and then he gets kind of peeked between two positions. Look to predict that peek up from Amanek, but instead Nexus swings wide. Bomb plant in time. G2 good for a 4th round on the board.
It's kind of the moment where, okay, we talk about how good Furia played in this half, but now it just comes down to numbers, and G2 can still totally make a respectable case of this in this first half, even if it comes off of a half-by win, like that. Yeah, that AK Tech 9 mix. And here's the refrag. That looks really ridiculous from Amanek. Barely sees the top of Yuri's cap, and they just turn it into a round win. They play the numbers, they hit A, they do it in good time as well. Cause a save. Lots of players here with guns, four up, and Furia will go back to the drawing board. I think they've been the strongest when they've had the most amount of money, which should sound like that's what's supposed to happen. Obviously, isn't always the case. Some teams, struggle to really utilize their utility to the maximum efficiency. Furia have been doing a great job with it. Early round damage, opening kills on Banana. But, they falter a tiny bit when they're not supposed to the pistols.
Back in with a force. Furia, AK, Mag 7, 3 upgraded pistols. At least decent utility. K Serrato, the single kit. 5-man push on Banana. Or is it a push? No. Just there for the early frag grenades. Kenny S has to give up his angle. A little bit of a flubbed Molotov.
Yeah. Well, this makes a lot of sense. They push for Hall's control really quickly. CTs rotate hard. It really comes down to if they're going to read this as a fake or not. It's always a gamble. But Furia, they were deliberate with this plan. Let's do tons of presence Banana, rotate hard. Either way, it's a total gamble.
Last frag grenade here in the hands of Art. Misses the mark.
They're going to go into it, looks like.
Well, this is what Furia were hoping for. Furia's still hanging on to 3 smoke grenades as they chuck the incendiary outwards.
Ooh, smokes are like the perfect counter to G2 right now because of how close it's been with the clock.
Oh, and Vinny, perfect position here.
Yeah, this is a freebie, really.
Flash comes in for Nico, but he gets taken down. Vinny doubling up. And with 12 HP, looks to walk back, but he sits instead, crouches down, hunkers in position, and now they're going to start wrapping onto the A site. 20 seconds to make this work. More utility coming out from G2. Remember, Furia, 3 players in position. Molotov towards the pit. They take Yuri off of the site, and that's all they technically need. Bomb plant beyond the boxes. Nothing that these pit players can do about it. And Hunter still gives that overwatch. But they're waiting for their 3rd player to get into position. That's Art coming all the way around for Banana, right into the scope of Kenny S. The pit player's now fired off. His position now known. K Serato 1v3 with the Deke. And he's got 2 players still to take down. They're going to give him nothing else. Going to force his feet forward, and he hits the 2nd shot. It is only Hunter behind the column with the final frag in the 1v1 and a 5th round for G2.
Yeah, he had the inkling right there. He had the right idea that peak was coming next, and he almost was able to put together the kill. But a good recovery. Vinny, I think he feels like he can't fall back here because, you know, someone can turn the corner at any moment. Of course, we see that there's enough time for him to get away, but he doesn't know that, so he tries to make a confident play. I totally respect it. The 2 kills, still a really good shot for his team, especially to get some extra damage in. And he's already down 12 HP as a rotator. It's like, you know, is that even going to necessarily allow you to have even more impact? Hard to say. But they don't pull it back completely, and G2 come crawling closer.
Oh, Art, though, just sticks that barrel to the side of Nico's head.
Unfortunate.
AK gets blown back into the control of G2, but they're going to force the issue. Charging into Nexa, Kenny S gives cover. They've seen all this heavy presence. They're already feeling out the top of A site, so they don't want to rush into another stack, but there's nobody over there. G2, move that one in quick as can be, and they'll find themselves tied at 6.
He was so close. Sometimes I feel like you get cheated a bit with E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you got butterfingers.
I feel like our arms are actually longer than CSGO makes it feel like. And sometimes it feels like you can reach for things, sometimes you can't. I know they fixed the nade bug, the nade on the guns, but extend the arms a little bit, I feel like. All right, clean round for G2 as we close out the half. 3 rounds to go. Who knows who's going to win them? Connor, what is going to be the final half score?
What is the final half score? I'm going to say 8-7, split down the middle.
For who?
Furia.
Okay. But you didn't know before you said that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the half score is going to be anyway, so I respect the guess.
Maybe worth stating, 10 kills for Honda in the opening 4 rounds. Now at 13. 13 rounds.
Yeah.
Got a little excited.
The 2 aces were nice. Honestly, yeah, I think there's economies play a huge factor in the rest of these rounds, though.
Agreed.
Because the way the G2 won their 1 round and then Furia's money from there on, as they lost a few, it wasn't always perfect, but that's, of course, because of their own buying decisions as well, as one unfortunate situation. But here's where we land. 5v4, 6-6, another good start here for Furia. And it hasn't been a huge problem dropping rounds where they have player advantage, but I think there's still enough room here for G2 to make this viable.
We've got Art locked into this close position. Again, swinging the off, but combat offing. It's what he does best. Nexa takes the head off K Serato. Art looks to evacuate, but he sticks around. Decides to go for another kill, and that one costs him. Back into the even 3v3. Nexa low HP, and just a bit of spam will do the trick, but Vinny opts not to pull the trigger. Nexa now dead. We've got Nico over by Newbox. Kenny S walking into the Banana Man. Honda finds the headshot, and it's all on Nico. Tapping back towards that CT spawn, he peeks out to his demise as Yuri has Furia arrive on 7 with still 2 rounds to play.
Just can't win the duel. That was a nice play to come over top of the sandbags with that smoke down that was thrown defensively from Art to try to get away. And as they were spamming wildly, he saw an opportunity to try to get a kill off the corner of it. If Nexa hadn't jumped over the sandbags to trade him out, he would have been able to miss that shot and leave. So it came very close, and his teammate, his friendly rotator who came in so quickly, couldn't get a kill either. So Definitely an awkward situation with a good opening kill. And it helped again to have the landlord, Yuri, lock it down in the apartments.
He turned off the heat and kept the deposit. I think that frag grenade as well really screws over Kenny S, because Honda basically walks into his teammate's utility, but guarantees he gets the frag as Kenny looked to turn back.
Yeah, I like the idea. You can skip a lot of the work if you just wait the bottom banana. If you don't think they're playing logs or close right, throw your window flash and then take all the way to the top of banana. If you think it's going to be something like a 4-1 setup, someone at the top of banana, you can skip all of the BS and just skip to the top of banana and get to the site without them throwing late mollies, retaking late, and not really be telegraphed as easily. Just try to flash the operate car or whatever. So I personally really like the approach from G2, but yeah, it does come down to the trades a little bit, and they can't find them once they get to the site.
Eating some flashbangs here towards alt mid. Art gets aggressive, and Aminek's going to catch him. Easy 5v4 here for G2. Let's see if they can tie up at 7 rounds off of it.
Yeah, instantly thinking about going. I don't know if they were going towards halls. I think this would have been an interesting time to try to do that with the late push from Art. But you've got G2 sitting and waiting for anything like this. Furia are getting some info over on banana. Double pit setup. Arch wide open. It'll be hard to read. You know, we've seen Honda there. We've seen Vinny there. They don't necessarily know that Arch is going to be open. But it's a gamble later on. So G2 waiting patiently, but the CTs are just going to make their way over towards A. You know, 4 to 5 down and don't want to try to retake or risk it taking banana control. Let's see if G2 go right into their trap. Looks like not. They've got the right read. Everything's clear.
And off of those flashes, they're not going to let off at this tempo.
Yeah. See, there's the fast flashes, skipping everything, not Molotoving things out and slowing yourself down, moving right into the site. You love this execution. It's a total dry run. There's not an enemy in place, but it's still the correct execute to get there the fastest, to make sure there's not even room to go for the retake.
Yep.
Complete outcall here from G2 as they put the bomb down and the round without any casualties.
And obviously Furia, the benefit of having not a single player on the B site is they move these 4 weapons forward. So we'll still have both teams on a decent buy for the 15th round.
It's definitely an underrated double benefit to saving or to overstacking in 4v5 or 3v5 situations. Just picking a site and committing to it. High odds on the site they go to. A full save for the CT side on those 3 or 4 players. If they don't go to your site, no one's at risk in the site hold or trying to save. So it's definitely a good thing to do. Definitely a great risk to take. But here it is, hard taking the first risk of the round for Furia, getting shut down, pushing out the back of halls. I don't know who threw that smoke or where it was supposed to go. But that was a curious one.
Not sure either.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a weird one. That's the kind of smoke that makes me watch apartments.
Right.
Even if my teammate threw it.
Yeah.
You know, it's an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's like a big question mark on the map.
That's like lighting yourself on fire, running into the street. Like, everyone's obviously going to stare at you.
Yeah, that's how you get attention nowadays.
If Maniac was drinking a glass of water, he'd just continue drinking it, though. Yeah, he wouldn't help. So we know.
That was the only death of the last round as well, remember? 9 players walk away with their lives in the 14th. And we slowly shift our attention into the 15th. So somebody is going to have an 8-7 lead at the end of this one, but who takes it with both teams on a bye? Only op is that of Art.
Oh, they've got the nades they need. Art peak coming up. Ooh, but yeah, that's a pit play to call it out. Oh my goodness. Kaser auto trades back with an HE, and Aminek might catch a bad timing here. Yes. Honda will be able to swing and swing out.
Yuri sticks it. Oh, and then they turn their attention. Yuri, 3 kills to close the half, and Furia succeeds with at least the 1-round lead. Kill's already into the equation, striking them down from that heavy.
That's a big gift right now. Strong kill for Rush to begin with, and a good follow-up. Headshot is dead.
As we've seen, shifted it up nicely. This one they decide to just run right in.
And Arc could do so much damage. The smoke goes down and Arc goes out. More shots delivered.
There's the element of surprise, maybe being just into that corner, pushed all the time. He's gonna get one. Charge, and maybe it's first. Keep falling into trouble whenever they pick it up.
And he is focused forward, gets the first kill, and the
Frozen
second.
tries
to dodge, Ziwu's right on top of him. Drops in the windowsill.
So Junior's looking for a team. Said LFTRT appreciated. You want to help Junior find a new team. Of course, in jest, following the incredible Deagle Ace, Deagle 4K.
As if the shoes weren't big enough, as if the pressure wasn't high enough for Junior.
Yeah.
Honda steps in and does that.
Hey, Junior could do it too. He could.
That's a fact.
He got a 5-shot op ace on Dust too. We'll never forget that. 2020. Big year for Junior as well.
2020, never forget. But let's set our eyes on this second half instead. Very quick pace being played by Furia. Yuri leads the charge into the apartments. We've got 5 players in there. Kenny S comes back from Balk, able to get himself an answer, but he's been gushed down to 3 HP. It's Hunter's headshot and K-Serato's nade. That's Vinny's new Glock.
Oh.
And the 3v3 ensues.
There you have it. Well, tease, they going to push? Or are we going to sit? It looks like we're going to... Yeah, get tucked in the sight.
Ooh, I was going to say, K-Serato, he was leaving a chance for the walkout on balcony, and that could just start unraveling the bomb site itself. Flash banked off the door. Nico, Molly to the floor. Art hitting headshots, but not quite taking the... Oh, kill! A single point of health for Nico. Vinny's able to hand here from inside of the site, and that long-distance Glock gives Fury a second pistol.
Oh, on the Glock. Hey, whoa, what was that sticker?
That's the Master Chief, baby.
Oh, it's the Spooderman Master Chief.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Actually, great shout there.
Thank you.
Nice couple of kills from Vinny. If you missed it, this is the skin that Connor recommended Vinny get. Vinny said, look at my skin when we get to the T-side pistol.
Lounging. Damn, Vinny, is it really that easy?
Surely that's for wiping off sweat, right? You okay, Pre?
He was trying to show the gun on his belt.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and then Vinny took it out.
And then he went and just hit the VTEC, drove up all...
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Kenny S. Gotta be cautious. See if Furia can find those double digits or whether G2's force buy pans out. But they've already moved their players from the A site back into library. So, I mean, playing from balcony, playing from A short, that's definitely going to give them a bomb plant at the very least. If they bring bomb from spawn.
Such an important part of the round, right? To get the bomb. See if that comes through. Yuri, opening kill.
Art's just jumping around with a MAC-10.
Keep it going. Well, they're going to try to crush this.
Ooh, there's 3 players in the way.
Yeah, this trio of CTs over on the top of Banana. I mean, they're coming in for it. Doesn't look like there's going to be any weird kills coming out, but with one player spotted, another one not, who knows what happens with the CTs. They don't find the last one just yet. And Hunter will at least get a kill. Drops the bomb as well, but only to turn his back to Vinny, who has the AK and die.
DJ, I am just so sorry that you had to try and figure out what was happening there, man.
Yeah, that was
jumping
like some
MAC-10s
stuff.
all around the corners. We had a late banana peek from the bottom of mid. That was a wild round. That's a special type of CS, but it is enough to, of course, dismantle that force buy from G2, give Furia their 10th. Little 3-round lead here at the T side of their map pick.
G2 aren't having fun. They're
No.
I mean, I guess they just lost the round, so we'll see. But there have been too many smiles today. Everybody just riding off their big wins.
Double peek with pistols. Molotov kind of forces the feet forward. Kenny S lingers a little longer. Vinny viciously eviscerates him. And, well, Nexa falls back ever so slightly. They still have a bit of a crossfire, but Nexa actually falls so far back that now Amanek is on his own. 2 guys on short side, 5 players in position here for Furia. And then they go silently walking all the closer. 2 CTs get spotted, 1 frag gets traded back, but that is all they'll have, G2. Furia find an 11th.
Done a good job of focusing kills into the MAC-10s, and this will be a plant here for Furia. No chance for the retake. And Nico would love to try to find a gun, so maybe he'll just go for a duel. Looks like a small standoff here. Caserado and Nico. And Caserado will try to get the hell out of there. He says, no, you're too nuts. I'll let somebody else handle this. Yeah, 11 rounds, and we look back on the history of these 2 teams. And one thing that I call into question, especially with, why, and part of the reason why I'm picking G2 to win this series, despite the score that we see here, is because Henny's rating versus, first of all, Henny's rating versus Tier 1 competition was insane in 2020. Even though it was only like 15, 16 maps, it was like a 1.14 to 1.16 rating, really, really strong. And because of that, I looked at G2 specifically, and on the 8 maps that they played at the end of the year only, he had a 1.17 rating versus G2, plus 34 versus G2. Was a huge reason they were able to take their 1 series off versus G2, and even when they lost, also played well. Maybe the first or second best player on the team. So really, really big shoes to fill in that regard. If you're Honda or if you're Junior, Henny was no joke and didn't leave the team necessarily because of performance issues, just because he wants to play with his twin brother. But anyways, we're off to the next round. It'll be a 1-for-1 duel. Nexa has to get caught switching and between angles, trying to dodge. There's so many kills going down. But it looks like the CTs win banana and the round.
Yeah, wild antics here. Honda was looking to just run with that P90 straight into the B site. Maybe that's why he's Art 2.0. But alas, he gets what he deserves.
Yeah, it's like, well, why not just continue to use Art like Art and just have him be the refragger or something?
Kenny S takes the boost to the new box. Obviously, G2 sniffing down the mid lane. In case Furia double back, but they're still making quite a ruckus here. Both their players on half health. Smoke soon to fade, and that's going to give Kenny the angle he needs. Vinny, gets spotted and dealt with swiftly. Yuri, looking for the answer, loses his head. 4 players alive for G2. Now only a 3-round lead for Furia.
The nade protocols were great for G2. Lots of damage in before anybody got to the top banana, and by the time they turned the corner, we're in just great positions to do the rest of the remaining damage. And fell back into the site at the perfect time. So just a solid round beginning to end from G2. You'd love to see it. See if they've got any more in the tank to come through and tie this up. But yeah, again, just to reiterate, Henny, first or second best player on the team versus G2 specifically. Huge reason why they were able to pull up their wins. And that's a lot to ask out of someone new, to just jump up to the tier 1 level as well.
Ooh, Hunter, just not gonna waste any time, but he eats that flash. Yuri, perfectly timed. Nexa, he's gonna go ahead and gun down Honda. Ooh. 2 kills on the response. That looked like some risky business for G2, but business is good. They profit. Man advantage at the minute 20 mark.
Wow. It was such a critical second frag, right? Denying the refrag at top mid there means bracket control, like info on the setup, all the forward progress of the T side. That was their 1 out to get back into the round quickly. And now look what happens. Everyone from G2 turtles up completely. They're happy to play a man advantage, nice and slow and far back. I think one thing about G2 is that we know they'll do this. So at least Furia can kind of speed up through getting through some of the angles, top bracket, wrapping arch if they want to do that. But it doesn't mean that the round's going to be easy. Again, they're such strong fraggers across all 5 players. And when they get into a passive setup with a player advantage, this can sometimes be their strongest position.
Shots fired from the apartments, so that's going to give confirmation over. Molly at the feet of Amanek. Ooh, and he's caught. He's caught inside of it. Down to 39 HP. Yuri's head barely spotted. Kenny S going to keep his eyes focused in the wall. Just trying to dodge flashbangs, trying to dodge damage and danger as Furia have managed to walk their way into the bomb site. Amanek still looking for his play, but Yuri slays him. And Nico, close smoke from Arch side. Very little time to spare. Bomb's going to be planted. Kenny S can't get into the equation, and now they know exactly where he's at. Nico looks to wide swing. Art misses his shot, loses his head. And K Serrato, relegated to the backside of this site, is just pinned into the corner. Molly spreading at his feet, but what a distraction! Yuri trying to come in all the while, doesn't get himself anything more than one.
Oof, clinical refrag from Nico on Art. After that missed shot, it wasn't the easiest shot in the world, and you have to say, like, Art getting punished there is actually pretty insane. Nico barely saw him, took his head off the first bullet. It's actually very, very impressive. I mean, I wouldn't chalk that up so much as to a mistake by Art. I think versus most players, he would have got away safely. But of course, him missing there, Nico punishing is everything for the retake. And here's the first sequence of kills. Again, to highlight just how good they are on an individual level. Such a great shot by Nico. Great couple of kills from Nexa to start the round. And again, total turtle in the last few moments, but that's because they had the ability to do that. Yes, Almanac goes up and tries to make some creative play on top of the hay bales, but he's still got a teammate in pit, still got rotators coming in, and they know that it's the A site being taken.
Hunter's incredibly close to this. Really fast pace being set by Furia. They are all in on the A play. Met by utility, however. 2 CTs closer towards the site and a double setup here on Arch. That fast rotate trying to get in line. They're met by a smoke. Amanek's blinded. Hunter inside of the site, only good for the one. But Amanek, well, he's got little pit under his feet. He sees the T jump back into the apps. A flash comes out. Amanek, easy pickup as Yuri goes over, hurdles him, and hurts his team's chances of picking up this 12th round. We've got 3 players from G2 over on Arch side. Deagle man down. Nico gets the headshot. Vinny, despite being blind, able to find that answer. And Nico just tapping away his opponents here. Kenny S gonna get that confirmation. K Serrato with a bit of damage. It's Kenny down to a quarter. But this just retake from one direction. You can see how concerned he was with a wraparound, but nobody else from G2 heading in that direction. It was all from Arch, and it's all good for the CT side. They've got themselves a 10th.
They're not always right up in their face, but what they're doing such a good job of is controlling space. When they don't want someone to cross an angle, they're sitting there, they're waiting. Nico's looking very clinical. Here are the shots that he's hitting. A lot of the times on these retakes, they're not moving much. They're just making sure that the Ts can't get to certain places. Once they do cross that line, that's when the CTs are here to win their duels. And you do have to zoom in. You basically have to go nose to monitor to see how good Nico is in some of these positions. But yeah, he just cleans up a couple of great kills. I mean, this is what you expect from him. This is why he costed so damn much.
Fast again.
Furia gonna come up quick. Kenny S, I guess, from a dodge flash, will be able to avoid his opponent, but they've already made so much progress.
Oh, but he still gets himself one. And he misses that quick flip. No teammates nearby. K Serrato jumping Mac 10 headshot, but Launders, G2 have the bomb.
They do. Wow. And yeah, they got a player in halls to camp it.
Nico called out on the side of the smoke.
He is, but he just needs to get away. I mean, not dying is pretty much his only prerogative, but he does.
And then Nexa seeing the tail end of Vinny.
This is all, it's the Vinny show now, right? It's whatever he can do from inside of the library. He's the only one with freedom of movement. He'll lose his duel to a very in-tune Nexa. Hunter's
coming out from balcony. Yuri sees him. The lesser weapon in that duel, but Amanek, a far more patient position, should pay off. Hunter going to apply the pressure on the other side. K Serrato, yeah, kind of pulled in 2 directions, gets wrecked. And just like that, folks, we are tied, 11 rounds apiece.
How'd that happen, actually? Because we saw Kenny S fall back with the op. Who dropped the bomb? Was it Hunter?
I think it should have been Honda.
Honda, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
sorry.
Honda was the front. No, Honda dies to Kenny on Arch.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Not sure.
Calculating.
Maybe we can take a look. I'm not sure. Just want to know how that bomb.
We're back at Blast. We've got replays galore.
Just ask for
who dropped the bomb in apartments.
Production had like 8 angles on this.
It's Colonel Mustard with the pipe in the boiler.
Colonel Mustard?
Yeah, I'm just trying to talk about Clue. It's a Clue reference.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. What's that? Was that just angrily typing on the keyboard? Yeah, you know what's fun? I mean, I feel like actually like Furia is not that impressive on T side. Is that a weird? Like it's like CT side where they're like the most astonishing in terms of how like diametrically opposed they are to every other team in the world. But on T side, I guess it's just less room for them to be that much more different. They do some cool stuff. I mean, totally good T sides. Don't get me wrong, but I think harder for them to catch people as off guard sometimes. I think some of the plays that like Art does on Inferno on T side, he's not doing too many of them right now. Right now, it feels like there's a lot more pack focus with how they're trying to refrag, whether it's the top mid hits or the banana hits. And yeah, he doesn't necessarily all have to get a kill for them to be successful. It really is just about him creating space a lot of the time, but the refrag's not always there right now. And yeah, I think it's just about the focus at the moment for Furia. Are they going to be thinking about the rounds they've lost or how close they are to winning?
Turns out last round that Art decided to leave that bomb inside of Boiler. It was not a kill that left it there, Launders, but rather a decision.
Interesting.
And a trade frag comes in within the apartments, met by an incendiary, so that slows things down. Kenny S moves back closer towards the pit, jumps up onto the bicycle. But can him and his teammates work in tandem to hold this A site? Molly coming over, Kenny S with another kill. Crucially, from this pit and Hunter, he shaves Vinny off of the play. Art just on the other side, also dying out to the M4 of Kenny, who swaps to the AK with Yuri up and above. But that first labored spray, a little bit of time there, makes the difference. Gives G2 what is now a one-round lead.
Yeah, and they even have to they have to do less than they have been, just playing even more cautiously farther back, and Furia just turning up the tempo, playing right into their hand. And yeah, they're just a little bit too comfortable here. Some of the nades that are coming out on T side are, you know, just fine, they're standard, but no refrags again. I just want to put it up to that. I'm not sure if they would say their executions have been good enough, but you can't guarantee everyone's going to be flashed on the A site because of the nature of the pillar, the nature of the pit. Some of the angles, you just have to hope someone's flashed or at least turned as you get out. And maybe they're just not feeling too clean about the way that they're coming out. Not exactly sure. It's probably something you'd have to ask them in an interview maybe afterwards. But for the meantime, the A play's not working out too well. Means I personally would like to see them stop banging their head into the wall a little bit with that. Think about trying to find opening kills early on. I think longer rounds would actually work quite well since G2, they give up so much space very, very easily. That might be something you want to try. Also, focus on Arch in the same way that could have been used against them in the first half.
Sure.
Something to think about.
Ooh, not ready at all. Reloading.
Honda doesn't hear that, actually. Taking the Molotov.
Walks into the apartments, reloading. Art's able to get himself a kill towards B. Met by grenades in abundance. Nico solo calls for help. Two players from G2 start to scuttle their way over. Remember, it's that single AK for Art and a deep T smoke, but Nico double kill. Vinny inside the fire will be his third. And the fourth. Nico takes the headshot into Art. That single AK play not panning out as G2 now lead by 2.
Pretty much the strongest angle in B. Probably the strongest player to hold it. Nico locks it down from the second oranges. And a very nice cherry on top of this last kill on Art. And signature swat from Nico to play inside of the B site. Probably one of the reasons they're avoiding him trying to go towards A. But it's not something that can leave completely off the table. So let's see where this round takes us for Furia. After, what are we looking at here? A 7-round streak for
Six in a row.
G2. 6 in a row here. All on fire. I think honestly prerogative. Try not to die for a little bit. See what the nade setups are going to be like for G2. Play it a little bit later into the round.
Sure.
And yeah, try to punish their passive setups later on. But the early rounds have just been so good from G2. I feel like.
Flash is coming out of Art here. He had a CT blind up close on that smoke, but just didn't peek beyond this corner. So getting into the nitty-gritty here towards banana control in round 25. They're still going to walk all the closer. Nico's starting to fall back slightly. Flash comes over the side of it. And G2 concede the banana control. Launders, they give it up.
They did pretty well. I think this is a very even situation where Furia, they take control of things, but they just take some damage in the process. I think G2, they showed enough face where they were clearly a little bit nervous about the remaining Ts and were correct about it, how many players are here. Now they're calling rotation over. I think this is very good calling from G2. It's not too passive. I think they did the right amount of stuff. They're making some reads as well. I think they have the right idea. And they punish that top mid as well. That's the art lurker. That'll tell you too much.
Yep. NiKo playing on top of the fountain. Shots just zinging by. Vinny actually through the smoke, takes him off. This Nexa also gets caught with a single kill, and Vinny, well, he gets the better of Hunter towards that CT spawn. The streak, the spree of all of these round wins seems to have come to a close. Oh!
Through the missiles.
Kenny S. with the laser beam.
That needs to be tried more often. Because, of course, not that big. But he won't find out about that damage until he sees the VOD. This is a good round from Furia, but I think not a bad round from G2, right? Like, the G2 was a good early start. They played on the site, and we saw. Look at the kills on the minimap. We had to have 3 people die, all in almost refraggable positions coming into B. They all just had slight misplays. A couple of bullets missed by NiKo, where he doesn't even get 1 kill holding the site. That's rare. Venha dueling him. And then Kenny S awkwardly jumping up, I think, into a smoke and then dying. Or not Kenny S, somebody else. Hunter and Nexa both dying without kills. But if any of those players got kills, you would actually have a situation with a retake. If 2 of those players got kills, Furia are pretty much out of the round. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything that G2 needs to necessarily change moving forward. Walk that one off. They still had such a strong comeback with a lot of money built up over those round wins. It's still on Furia to prove that they are the better team in this half. They won't win every round that looks like that.
Facts. Just the nature of the utility we saw last round, I feel like that could have slipped away for G2 like this headshot does in Yuri. Amanek catching him jumping onto the balcony. And Kenny S gonna eat a flash here, almost caught out by what could have been Vinny's response frag. But instead he's afforded a chance to fall back. And there's a second kill coming through for G2. Amanek finding Honda on the exit of apartments. A desperate situation for Furia now. 3 versus 5, 2 smokes and a flashbang. They're going to throw one on the front side of the site, but walk into the crossfire. Art still managing himself at least 1 kill. He's got a player back by Emo, but there's also NiKo here on oranges. And maybe Furia don't see this. Sure enough, he catches one off guard, sprays into the face of K Serrato. Vinny's going to catch NiKo off guard, though, with this deep peek. And now he's got time. This would have to be a miraculous 1v4, but Kenny S could give him the second. Inching into the peak, he hits it. The op shot for the 14th round. G2 lead by 2.
Yeah, nice hold. Everything went well. Nice kills from NiKo. What more can you say about that? And we've got a new landlord in town. It's Amanek. He sits up here, gets a kill in window room, falls back to the pit, punishes Honda, and then we have the follow-up kills from NiKo. CT side looking very strong here from G2. And again, I was personally very critical of their CT sides at the end of the last year. I felt like things changed a little bit in the wrong direction when NiKo joined the roster again. But then in their last series versus Astralis, even though they lost again, I consider that a reference match. I think they improved quite a lot on their CT side. I was looking forward to see where their Inferno goes into this year. This would also be a big win for them, considering the last 2 times they played against Furia, 16-5 in favor of Furia and 16-8 in favor of Furia.
Absolutely.
This is already much closer. And in fact, winning for G2.
Kind of sets the tone for this best of 3 series as well. This was supposed to be the easy pickup for Furia based on those last 2 map results.
Plus the hot start, really huge rounds from Honda. Atmosphere was probably amazing in those first few moments. As soon as they faltered a little bit, G2 got that round. That Tech 9 2K from Kenny S on Archway was no looking back.
The 8-7 half for Furia was at one point a 6-2 lead. And after the second pistol and consequent conversions, they had that comfortable 11-7 here in this second half. Now look at the score, 12-14, and G2 with NiKo off the top of oranges in another 5v4, a favorable position, but NiKo, he walks into that smoke grenade, now pushes pressure onto Nexa, who of course delivers at least a little. He's got Hunter back in dark corner, so Yuri's attention completely turned. And K Serrato, all that's left over has been spotted. A desperate situation indeed. A 15th inevitably to the favor of G2. 3 map points by the looks of it. Kenny S gonna conclude the 27th round. Let's see how long it takes G2 to close.
Yeah, it was just about how perfectly calm Nexa was there. That was so cool to watch. Chilling out at the quad, locking down 2. No refrag in sight, and Fury up to the drawing board, of course. You know, starting to dawn on them that this is not going to be an easy game to win. Yes, 3 rounds difference, but the fact they only won 1 round in recent memory, one of what, 9? And on top of that, the 1 round they did win, honestly, I think they got a little bit lucky. They got some really nice entries, but at the same time, it was I would highlight the misplays from G2 more than how good Furia played. So not a situation where I feel like Furia are anywhere close to the better team this half. And I think it's very, very impressive to see how good G2 have had on the CT side, considering their last couple of performances versus Furia. So let's see if they can close it out right here and now. Not much to work with for Furia. Just running on fumes with the 3 Galils, low grenades, and Deagle on Caserado.
Nico goes for a bit of a peek, sees nothing. Should have heard Vinny, however, coming at him from alt. Vinny getting frisky. Throws the Molotov forward. But it looks like maybe a banana challenge is in store. Kenny S up first. Nexa just behind him. If Kenny gets blinded, then expect Nexa to just swing wide, try and give him cover. Kenny's going to miss that first shot. Falls back. Nexa. Couple bullets out. Smoke grenades exchanged and a Molotov in the mix. Caserado just runs right through, and Nexa's gonna punish him for it. Going for even more. Now the bomb's been thrown forward, 2 more players presenting themselves, and Nico comes in with that CT peek. This one is looking over. Vinny, only able to find himself the first. A 16-12 victory here for G2. A near impenetrable CT side. If it wasn't for that pistol and that 3-0 start in the second half, it is only 1 in 10 rounds after the fact to the favor of Furia. G2 Esportes starting 2021 with a very clearly improved CT side on Inferno.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, beating their own demons versus Furia specifically, it was cool for a bunch of reasons. We got to see that exciting first half, and honestly, a really cool second half from just G2. Awesome to see Honda as comfortable as he is. He did fall off a little bit towards the end, but it was more of a systemic failure within the team to put together some T rounds with some of their executions not looking that clean. But they still got chances in this series.
Absolutely. Inferno was supposed to be the lopsided affair for Furia. That's what we saw in the last 2 best-of-3s. Next up, we get Mirage. We've had an overtime win there for G2 and a close game as well in that second best-of-3. What comes next? Stay tuned to find out.
One more. Hit that. Behind the molly, I'm reloading. I'm them. I'm coming in. He's one to be. Let's go, boy! Let's go! Easy, man! Easy! It should have been a 2-0 though. It should have been a 2-0. Backman dead. That's it. Deep layer. Sick! Nice push. Let's go.
I don't see anyone in main.
He's holding flash! 8 demons! Oh! I'm on stack.
Yeah, fun.
Let's go!
The sickness is he's like, die Joey, die Joey.
Nice, nice.
Did you guys run the whole way?
Yeah!
The whole way, man. Love.
Mais um caverna pra lá. Vai lá, pra lá.
Tá, vou X1, Alex, tô longe. Vou já.
here now.
Two in pit.
Pillar.
Two in pit, two in pistol. Two in pistol. Two in pistol, two in pistol. One left, one splinter. One left, one splinter.
He's slowly under pit.
Splinter still.
Chill.
Short.
Oh my god.
Russ! Did you see that?
Nice job.
Insane.
I don't know what just happened, guys. Good job.
He ran through the mid-side smoke, and I see my teammate here and here and.
I'm making plays, dog.
Yeah, I felt like I was playing.
I can drop you, Mike. I can drop you.
Fucking hectic. Nice.
Yeah! Oh my god! Playboy! Nice Venha!
I think that's your spot.
Yeah, that's the clutch spot.
Respeita a minha história! Pausa essa!
One was IV.
Try to let T1 all over.
You can be back, man.
Let's still one.
I think they got.
TD got dead. He was holding Ivy. Could be one more team.
There's one more IV.
On half HP Ivy. He was.
Out anyone?
Out, everyone. Team is dead. Out, half HP. Half HP.
Nice! Sick! Let's go!
It certainly wasn't easy for G2, but they did manage to get the win here on Inferno. And Furia, they were looking so strong to start off with. And boys, I gotta start with Honda coming out the gates with a bit of vroom in there.
Okay, I'll give you that one. You can have that one, James, but that's the only one I'm gonna allow you at the desk. But he's so happy. I'm happy.
You're so triggered by the car.
I've already heard so many cars jokes. And Pimp has got a list of jokes with cars. Just get it out of your system right now. Let's just do a segment with car jokes, like honk honk, and we can do everything. Let's go.
No, we got him doing it as well.
Please protect me. But yeah, joke aside, he had a crazy good start.
Yeah.
2 aces in 4 rounds, right out of the gate with the deagle as well.
Yeah.
A good way to start his career at the top level, you could say. But if we're being realistic, he slowed down after that.
And that was a bit of a shame, right? Because you see on your screen right now the impact of the kills he had in the beginning. That was fantastic. The first kill right here, really bringing Furia back into the game after losing the pistol. A couple of rounds later, again, he does it right here after G2 winning. And it's just another good job, another good showing from Honda. The problem for him is, as you said, I believe he was at 13 frags, 8 rounds into the game, and he finished with 18. So he completely cooled down, completely showed, I guess, nothing from that point and onwards in the game. And that was a bit of a shame because we had high expectations coming into this one. After the first couple of rounds, you thought to yourself, okay, maybe this guy on your screen right now, he can elevate Furia. He can be, you know, the Henny with the rifle and do a good job. But unfortunately for Honda, it was a short flash in the pan. He didn't really do anything here in Inferno afterwards. And that left us with a little bit of a, what if feeling.
But I wouldn't say it's maybe so much of a what if, but more of like, okay, maybe he set our expectations very high after those 2 crazy rounds, and then we had to be brought back down to reality.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was no way, no mathematical way, that he would keep on with that rhythm, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get 8 aces in the game if you have 2 in 4 rounds. But I agree with Jacob in the fact that could have a lot of players, when they have that momentum, when you have that kind of impact early on, it just launches you into a freaking mayhem because of that confidence. And he couldn't roll on. But there's also, we have to give credit to G2 because they stopped him, quite literally.
And with G2, though, we started to see frustration set in very early, particularly with Nico when we looked at it, right? You saw Malik try to talk to him a little bit and go through that. Then Nico woke back up and found into his floor. We saw him starting hitting the headshots needed.
Yeah, we saw the Nico we all know from his own stream, from the deathmatch servers, just the tapping away with the AK-47. He makes it seem so effortlessly when he's playing Counter-Strike. It just looks beautiful. Honda as well, his cousin, you know, not in the best mood. There was a couple of instances in this game where he was not playing up to par, right? He finished with 1 out of 1 out of 8 in opening duels. Not good enough for Honda. So the difference between Nico and Honda in this game was immense and too big for the future as well. But when Nico is playing the level of Counter-Strike he were, especially later stages of this game, then G2 is a different beast, right? We talked about coming into it as well, Maniac. Kenny's doesn't have to be Kenny's anymore. He doesn't have to be the best player on the server. When you got Nico and you potentially have Honda stepping it up, there's enough firepower within G2.
Yeah, and you talk about Kenny's, and I think in this instance, he did not have any like super highlight plays, but this is exactly what I want from Kenny's. I want to see him not making too many mistakes. I want to see him be active with the AWP, not shining away from duels, but not giving away silly deaths. I think that used to be the problem with Kenny's. We have seen it sometimes when he's out of the rhythm, out of sync, he goes on, peaks, dies, and then that's a problem for G2. In this game, he didn't make any mistakes. He was just playing, he was following the plan, and the plan from G2 on the defense, oof, that was pristine.
And this is it, right? We expected a bit of a back and forth because we know what Furia can do on Inferno, but G2 won. Are we convinced by what they've done, though, right? Is this enough to go, okay, this was acceptable from a G2 that we're saying can't be making these mistakes now?
Yeah, it's not enough yet. I think we need to see the next map and see how that's going to pan out, whether or not they can first and foremost win it, and also in what fashion they're going to win. But winning against Furia on Inferno, sure, with a stand-in in Honda, that's still impressive for G2. You talked about coming into the match, right? The last 2 times they played, G2 was not even able to get double digits. This time around, they look like the better team for the majority of the game. So I think it's a positive sign. Not sold on it quite yet. I want to see the next map. I want to see them win their own map pick convincingly. And if they can do that, I'm slowly but surely getting on board of the G2 train. I personally had them to win the entire tournament because I really believe there's a lot of talent within this lineup.
Ooh, he's already saying it straight out the start. He thinks the whole tournament will be going the G2 way. But G2's defense, Maniac, you were saying was looking a lot better.
Yeah, I think on the A side specifically, you could see that G2 coming into this game, they had a plan to be annoying, right? It starts right here, first gun round, next side Hunter both pushing down, next side with the double kill, and then Furia really tried to bully the A side of G2. That was their first plan. The first step of the plan, or their T side, was to bully that A side. But the rotations were on point for G2. The positionings were on point. We see Nico here. As the second player from B, he was always in a position to have some impact, finding these tap, and then I gotta give it to Amanek as well. I think Amanek played a clever game from the pit position. You could see it at times, just surviving behind smokes, surviving behind Molotovs, staying alive for the extra 5 seconds, giving time to the rotation to come in here, as we could see right now. And it was Hunter as well sometimes with the AWP. So what happened was that Furia, with their game plan, tried to build the A side, failed at that, and then had to kind of tunnel towards Nico, who was on point already. Warmed up from these backups, and then Nico just mowed them on B. So the plan on the defense was absolutely pristine for G2.
And that was something that was needed when it was coming against Fury and the style they throw at you when it comes to an Inferno. But I mentioned Nico, right, having that conversation with Malik. It was also Hunter at times as well. Malik being the calming influence here for these guys.
Yeah, and I think he had to be, because Hunter was not having a great game. Finished at 12 frags. As I said, 1 in 8 in opening duels. He was not really feeling it, right? And that's what gives me a bit of confidence into this G2 lineup. Because I think I saw enough last year saying that Hunter, he's a world-class player. He can be one of the very best in the entire game. So we're not going to see him struggle like he did in this game. G2 were able to win without playing on all cylinders, without playing the best brand of Counter-Strike they can on their opponent's map pick. So I have high confidence that when Hunter finds his level back on Mirage, or in the future for that matter as well, there's enough firepower within G2 to beat most teams, even if they're playing their B or C game like they did here in Inferno. So I think that in itself is a great sign for the future.
Now, when it comes to Mirage, which is going to be our next map here, it's G2's pick for sure, but Furia, them two last time around, it went 19-17, right? It was that crazy overtime game, and it took a hell of a lot from G2 to be able to actually take the win. Now we're looking at a G2 that, for me, should be able to dominate, but they need to be very careful of the explosive style we can expect from Furia.
While I agree with you, James, I do believe that on Mirage, the lack of Henny maybe might be more significant than on Inferno. Because I remember the game we casted together. The double AWP setup with Henny and Art was the main reason why the defense was so airtight. Almost the only reason. They had, what, 25 AWP kills in one half, right? 25 between the two of them. And they shut down G2 completely. That was the main reason why they were able to push to overtime. So now, yes, indeed, G2 beat them on Mirage both times. It was close games at that. But I want to see what Furia can do without Henny. And I think, structurally speaking, it's going to be a big challenge.
And when it comes to structure, though, is this where Honda can maybe feel a bit more comfortable, even though he hasn't had this time of it? Because it is Mirage, it is where we say the Pug Stars can survive?
It's hard to say. I think he gets a lot more individual responsibility. He'll probably be singled out in more duels than he would on Inferno. So in that case, he can hold us to his own. We saw in the beginning of Inferno that his individual skill level is high. He has the ability to be, great and go for the duels and win the duels, even with a deagle in Antico. So I wouldn't necessarily worry on behalf of Honda. I agree with Matthew. I think the big problem for them is that the CT side is going to lack Henny. Henny is so influential with the AWP, even more so than Art. So without him, I think they're going to have a big problem.
But when it comes to Hunter, this is where we expect to see him give it his most, give it his all, because I just have so many memories of Hunter when it comes to Mirage.
Yeah, we do, right? And we will see if he get boosted into window again, for the 5 million time, and people still not ready. I think what Mirage is interesting for G2 is that it's the story of bringing in players gradually who are confident on Mirage. Because G2 started as a French team, and we really pushed Mirage away from the map pool. We didn't want to play it. Then next time Hunter had it in the map pool, and now you had Nico, who is almost the master of the lurk on the A side in terms of duel. He's one of the very best. I cannot tell you how many times I died to Nico pushing out of apps. And you know he was coming, and you could time it 3, 2, 1, and you're dead. That's it. He picks you one tap. So now you have Nico in as well, and this lineup together might look dangerous on Mirage.
Well, let's see if they are dangerous on Mirage. Let's see what's going to happen when we get to the game. I love when Maniac still refers to G2 as his boys as we. They're not French anymore. They're a mixed team for sure, and they'll be looking for the 2-0 against Furia.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for Mirage, and it seems like on the analyst desk, we should be keeping our eyes on Nico. Seems like G2 have some high expectations set for them coming into this second map, and I think that with the solid state of their CT side on Inferno, I'm very curious to see if they could actually make this incredibly lopsided.
Both teams are really strong on this map, so we'll see what happens. New year as well, and we just saw G2 fix their Inferno in a big way, so I'm not going to hold my breath for this map in terms of what to expect based on what we've seen, because I expect both teams knew Mirage was coming, and this is like a matchup they had a while to prepare for. So we'll see what happens. This is I think Nico's the best player on the server on this map. So Art is going to be the player on Cat. We've got Honda, who will be opping. I think primarily on the A site.
Okay.
In place of Henny. That's just a guess.
Okay.
I watched a Mirage demo. Mirage happened to be the best map that he's played in his recorded games on HLTV. Of course, there's more.
Okay.
So, yeah, odds are we do see Honda up. Odds are he has a very strong T side as well. And
Let's
so
get it on.
We might have an interesting result. Let's see.
We've already got pressure up connector. Honda gonna find the first headshot of this round. Amanek answers back. Honda's got himself a second. Nico out from Palace. Oh, it's labored, but he gets there and up the ladder. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Only Art left over. G2 have managed what was a very frantic fray over towards that A site. They recover the bomb. Nico's still standing, barely. And that's going to be the pistol pickup for G2 Esportes.
Well, that was the most awkward situation, wasn't it? A place where Vinny was trying to come up the ladder to refrag while someone else is shooting, but he comes up, nobody else is there to take attention away from him, and Nico just kind of patiently shoots at him. Almanac also contributes, would have been better off to stay underneath, but his teammates dying was another thing. And Honda, I mean, he put up the 2 kills on the hold. It looked like the whole T-side attack was going to fall apart from there on out, but G2 held firm. Nice entries and nice refrags. Connector split works out, and Art will just save here at the top of mid.
Could be really scary, I think, if G2 start rolling this early momentum. T-side pistol round win, get some early buys, dodge deaths. If they can make mincemeat of the anti-ecos, then we could see Furia with their hands full. We'll see, we'll see. I think these are kind of 2 dark horses for the event in general. You know, if we think of clear favorites to be in the finals, I don't know if you'd place either of these teams up there. I believe it's only Pimp who predicted G2 to be the champion from the start.
I think they'd be the dark horse team, right? It'd be, you know, maybe Astral's Vitality up there 1 and 2 in no particular order. And then G2 after that.
Maybe Na'Vi in the top.
I pick Na'Vi because I mean, they just have, like, look at the beginning of this last year. At the last spring series, Na'Vi played really, really well coming into the new year, so I genuinely expect a lot from them.
You've got a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, though. You know, you never know which one you're going to get.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see as time goes on. But here we have Nexa back into the connector, of course. Armored Deagles on the side of Furia. And everybody just waits. Little map control given away. G2 doesn't want to walk into the bear trap.
Like, I think Astralis and Vitality are objectively better teams than Na'Vi, even throughout all of last year, based on like the quality of play coming into the end of it. But they can definitely keep up. That's the real kind of 3-way, like the trio of death. This could be a very, very interesting game and result. Hopefully we do get all 3 maps after what we just witnessed. Very close Inferno. But now we're on the anti-eco on the second map. G looking for the 2-0.
Ooh, quick MP5 headshot. Kenny S looking to add one, but K Serato rocks it back with the Desert Eagle. He will then be bested. Amanek gonna get his hands busy, plant that bomb as Furia walk away here. Looking to save 2 sets of armored Deagles. G2, really good job of just kind of squeezing. You know, they got up into connector. They didn't get any response from Furia. Furia didn't look for the gunfight. So G2 rock that boat back and then dock it in the B site. 4 alive as well, and making money off the SMGs. This is a strong start for G2.
I know you want to talk about Kenny S's op.
I do. Okay, so we went on the tangent in the first map. I'm like, hey man, Vinny's, you know...
Go quick before the next round
Go
starts.
quick, go quick. It turns out, just like Vinny, Kenny S, he took my idea yesterday. I showed him a really cool combination with the Op Prince, with his gold Berlin sticker on it. And it turns out he also went around and made the exact same skin the moment we finished our content piece.
Like
the
in real life,
difference is, Vinny spent 20 bucks. Kenny just dropped 3 grand.
3 grand.
Woo! So if you guys need a custom skin designer, apparently I'm the guy to go to.
You just showed it to me in game. It is absolutely beautiful.
Kenny S is using an op I made.
That's actually really awesome. I can't wait
that
to
on my
see
resume.
It. Hopefully he's opping this game.
Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see it. Just you guys wait. We've got pistols back at it for Furia. Again, minimal investment. I think like taser on Art. Honda spends 700. Nexa quickly takes his head off. Kenny with a frag kill. Oh, another up close and personal. versus K Serato. Hunter's AK sings for the kill versus Vinny, and Kenny pushes it over the line. So back-to-back rounds with 4 survivors for G2. This is mad money in the bank.
I'd like to let you know he's made enough money now, plus a couple of his teammates died. He's probably going to drop the AK over.
There it is.
Think about the upgrade. Let's go ahead and check it out. Kenny has his brand new op, as designed by Scrawny, sitting right beside us.
Wow, that's me. Last I checked.
Come on, Prius. He's not going to show it.
Oh, that's...
Oh.
It's a yikes Molotov if I've ever seen. And then you know what?
They wanted to stop.
That G2 comes strong into mid off of the back of that.
They wanted to stop the get that smoke to pop in the back and then peek on the side of it. Would have been the perfect counterplay to what we're seeing, but it misses. So we'll have to reroute. It's not the biggest problem in the world. It kind of sucks considering it would have worked probably, but they also have B-App's control here with Art and are pushing down into the A ramp. B is being cleared. Vinny dies, and this might actually push Art into a more awkward situation. But Omenek dies, jumping across his screen, and K Serato's opened himself up to another kind of 50-50 duel versus CPL. Who will come out on top? Looks like the T concedes the fight, and Art will try to look for more impact, and he finds a great timing off the corner of the smoke.
Oh, Nexa's got his back. Oh, he could collateral them, but Nexa almost catches him.
He looks like he wants to
go back.
Yep.
Art's looking for second servings, peeks into the AK, can't quite manage the quickscope. 3v3 is what we're left with, but the B site's been evacuated. That bodes really well for Kenny. He holds for the cross. Oh, he misses the shot. Hunter's able to just keep them locked into the marketplace, however. Smoke grenade gives a bit of space to play for K Serato, but he's just sitting back. He can relax. However, bomb's now gone down. Hunter's going to get the challenge, and he succeeds in taking off the 2 peaks from back market. Honda, all that's left over, and honestly, safe.
Wow, that's actually nuts. So Hunter, he comes through with the read. He punishes Art for trying to re-aggress into CPL. Art could have just chilled for a second, but they were only at 4-4, and he had a great timing. And the idea to re-aggress, a lot of players wouldn't have thought that he would do that, of course. It is Art, so that's something he'll think about the next time he decides to go for a timing like that, but very nice awareness from Hunter. Again, lots of players would have just assumed that no way he comes back for more and dies. And then he turns that into 2 more entries on the B side as well. 4-0 start here for G2. Honda retains the op, which is something nice for Furia, but this is the only thing they'll get. Again, yes, there it is. That punishment into the 2 kills on site in the post plant. Here's Hunter getting the most important position when you're in the post plant. It's denying the window and the door all in the same angle. They know you're going to be there, but you have an advantage in finding those kills. And yeah, it doesn't even allow the refrag to come in.
Straight back into that heavy mid control. Charging down to connector. Deagle spam from Yuri, not going to find its mark. Nico, a little bit of a challenge offered over. But he gets tagged up by that single scout of K Serato. Remember, Art's op.
Ooh, I like how, man, I love how fast G2 are moving, but
yeah,
it's as fast as those scout bolts coming back at them.
K Serato looking to pull a Searson, but Kenny's got his head. Honda's still inside of the apartment. This is interesting. It kind of cuts off Nico from coming to join his teammates, who definitely need help. Hunter's been shaved down to 3 HP. He's got the bomb carrier just beside him in Kenny S. But this is a tricky position for Hunter. He can't afford to take a single bullet. They hit that minute mark, and you can see how Furia, they've got this B site enveloped. Honda's been called back into the action, looking for the angle into Hunter, who's doing a good job of avoiding that very narrow spot. But as he goes back into the peak, he's now been toppled. Kenny's going to get challenged by more than 1 player at this point. And he will take one with him, but there's still 2 CTs on site.
There's not any help here. They've taken so much time. Nico's late to the halls. His teammate dies in the halls, of course. No way to fall back, and Omenek making a huge flank rotation into CT spawn, but he's going to be heard with the amount of time he has left. He has to run it, and we've got a player camping in. So the scout gets one of the final kills here in Omenek. He'll be offered up one last, but with 15 seconds left, he can't even think about attempting to go for this. He's just going to fall back off the upgraded gun, and off in fact, and yeah, we'll just call it a round. That was that was a little bit weird, especially with the way that they came back into the round. But where Kenny S was, he couldn't really go back from there. And he wasn't getting help either. So bomb, a bit too far out of sight. They definitely needed a kill where they couldn't get one. Even though, you know, we do have Kenny S hit this nice shot at the end, it's not enough.
Almost feels to me like, I know it was a risk, but Nico, when he got tagged by that scout, he decides to walk back to the top of middle, and he goes somewhere else, as opposed to coming through apartments, potentially having to take a 1 versus 1 with Honda. But that is still a rifle versus a deagle in apps, and if they get apps control, then all of a sudden, all the pressure is taken off of the cat players, and they can just follow through into the B site. Nico goes elsewhere, and they're just left stranded in the no man's land.
One of those situations where if they are going to commit, he's got to stay. If they want to go somewhere else, they've got to do it together. But they didn't pick one of either of the two, and there it is. Nico comes knocking out of the halls. Almanac gets a kill at mid. There is pressure on the window. Connector split oncoming. 2 Ts here with an off as well, and another CT goes down.
It gets a little bit wild there.
Art falls like a raindrop out of the window.
Yeah, flies forward.
Here comes another.
And then gets wiped off like a windshield.
Like a bug on one?
Yep, or a raindrop. Serato, he's going to find himself some sort of an answer here. Doable 1v3, having already cut it down to the 1v2, and he gets the head of Kenny with the third. Serato, huge clutch to keep Furia at the halfway point here. 2 rounds to 4.
Wow, damn. Check that drip. I actually half fell asleep for a moment. Thought that was pretty much over with how good the trades were going. But guess who you can't write off? It's definitely Serato. Very, very clean shots. And a 1v3 in total, it looks like. Beautiful stuff, especially on that third. What is that? That was definitely a round that went way too well for G2 to lose in that fashion.
Now we've got G2 relegated into the P250s. Single deagle for Nico, that's it. That clutch opens up a huge door for Furia. Let's see if they can get through this unscathed run boost. But a lineup, Yuri. He's got himself 3 kills in the anti-eco. Art's gonna get challenged. Shish kebabs a couple kills. And G2 now only leading by 1.
Yeah, nice. Of course, Yuri. Such a tank, man. Seen a lot of people say El Monstro, like it is on Brazil Twitter about this man. So good on the spray downs. Definitely, we've seen situations where you see that coming, you miss the first guy, you don't even get 1 after that. He gets 3. Nice cleanup. 3-4. Small lead for G2 for what it's worth. At this point, who cares? Almost tied up. Rifles for both teams. Jump out into mid. Art gets a kill. Falls back as well with Yuri to support him. But now that he's gotten away, he's got no support in the underpass. This is crazy that Art will let him go. And he'll re-peek and still get a kill.
Oh, nice answer, Kenny. Just finding Art as he hops up onto the bench. Gets benched for the rest of this round. But it's still that man advantage being held onto by Furia. So they can just kind of concede a little bit of control, sit on their bomb sites. We'll have Hunter take over connector. Second player in middle doubles back to join Nico with that bomb. Again, we have a player pushed up from Furia into the B apartments, though. That kind of does open options for Honda. If he wants to go peeking up catwalk, double back through CT spawn, really the choice is his.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter's in a great position, but he can't actually get information here without really risking everything and can't help his team until they start winning. So he's in a great kind of outpost inside of connector, where he can be very useful if his team finds another kill. But until that moment, he's just got to sit and be patient. So let's see if Nico can help him out.
Honda's on this, and he has his head taken, but there's that quick answer by Yuri, still inside of the jungle. Frag grenade bounce back, a headshot connects into Hunter, and Kenny's caught at the top of the staircase. We are tied at 4.
Yeah, they're looking strong. Very, very nice, confident plays here from Art. We're seeing him kind of play at full strength, being himself in the best way possible, re-peek into mid, and again, just so surprised how Yuri lets him roam free, really, in the underpass, or if Art says, you know, I'm going to be fine, don't worry about me, I'm going to watch my back underpass. I think he drops the smoke down underpass, so he buys at least 15 seconds where Yuri can go and see if an A-split is oncoming, and then maybe Yuri was going to plan to come back and help Art escort him back into connector, but either way, it was a very, very potent play. and I think it was executed to perfection. Attack timeout here called for G2, and you know, I think this is when Furia are kind of at their strongest, where Art can be very unpredictable. He's got a lot of space to work with on T side, and this is where, you know, you can call it tack pause, but finding Art is really the hardest part.
Smokes at least in abundance for G2. Let's see if they go into some kind of set piece. Enough nades to maybe throw a fake, get Furia on a rotate. We'll see. We'll see. They go 3 players into the B apps early on. Then they all go down into the underpass, but they're running so quick. This is definitely being heard. Not that they seem to care. Nexa, he's going to drop Art out of the equation. Big peek from Honda, but he only body bags a single kill. And Yuri, not wanting to be the next casualty, as G2 have a man advantage. Luckily for them, Vinny, he's just connecting these A1S shots. And we've got Serato creeping in from underpass. So that drops bomb, and G2's attempt at the pistol round win seems to have been dealt with. We'll see. We've still got Nexa in the 1v3. Doable, although unlikely. Yuri's holding him in this position. And he goes ahead to finish. We have Furia Esports with a 1-round lead.
And 5 in a row is on fire for Furia as they really get started here. No celebrations for Furia. They still see a long trek ahead of them. Also started out really hot on Inferno, didn't close out the map. So I think are trying to, you know, have some tempered expectations as to, you know, what they can expect. In terms of a total game plan, I think they've got stuff to prove to themselves on their T sides as well, and now they're just barely getting over the cusp on the CT side. They're probably terrified of the thought of going into the second half with very little, you know, knowledge about how good G2 are going to play based on the improvements they made last map.
Oh, didn't see him. Art's sitting on the bench.
Art's been great. Yeah, different tone here, but Art finds that opening. Serato going to spot this as well. He'll fall back.
Back turned.
But,
oh, nice opening. Amanek.
This could be the round, actually.
Huge. Oh. Able to find themselves that 3rd kill after Amanek cranks the dial. He had Honda with his back turned. It was the follow-up frag into the man inside of sight that really made the difference. And then Kenny catches the closest rotate. Things go from bad to worse. G2 with a bit of a saving grace because they got shut down so early over on A.
I'm so glad we get this replay. So first of all, he comes out really early, and you can see there's no flashes there. I think Honda turns from something, but he comes out on a timing. Honda's trying to play anti-flash, and he punishes that and then gets the 2nd kill, and you have to underscore it. 2 kills on the B entry like that in a round where G2 get 2 openings outside. I mean, that is insane. Yep. Insane impact from Amanek. It is the round in the bag, basically. It's pretty much it. No one in the site. You know the rotators are coming. And, yeah, it's a round where G2 already got these 2 fast kills. They thought they were going to win.
Significant 3 versus 5, thanks to Amanek, to immediately cool off Furia, to extinguish those flames, and keep this first half tied at 5 rounds each. Of course, buybacks made easy. We've got full gun rounds here in the 11th. Let's see who finishes off this first half strong. Kenny back with the op, and G2 looking to set up shop at the A site. It is only Hunter towards mid, making a bit of a ruckus with some utility. Heavy palace control with that bomb lingering back. Art's eyes towards mid, misses his shot. Now pressure's gonna fall onto the shoulders of Vinny. He doesn't really have support, he gets aggressive, and he only gets 1 kill. Immediately traded back by Nico. Yuri's gonna try to dunk that frag. The fire blocks his approach over top of the staircase, but Kenny still takes damage. Substantial at that, down to a 1/4 HP. And Nico, well, he's throwing utility deep towards spawn, looking to cut off Serato, keeping him from getting into this retake. A bit of a labored spray, and damage favoring Furia. Flash goes high, followed by a 2nd. Nico opts not to go for these peaks. Not even over towards stairs. He trades it back, but it costs Nexa, and that was the only player for G2 with HP. A big peek from Kenny shut down, and now it's all on Nico. He hears Honda. He taps him. A single shot. Looking for the 4th kill. Yuri, well, he hasn't gone for the defuse, but that doesn't matter because there's just no time.
Wins on the clock. You have to give him credit for every single movement there. Nico plays it to perfection. Doesn't overcommit on the first duel. Gets some damage in. falls back, uses the double flash to bait for his teammate to take the fight, and then comes through in low HP to get the refrag and positional control of CT spawn. A beautiful one tap into the head of Honda just to show him that it is Nico on the server behind the keyboard, and finally just playing off the clock exactly how he should do in that 1v2. Nut stuff from Nico. Another round 1 in a row for G2, and that has taken significant amounts of money out of the coffers for Furia.
And a fresh look for G2 in that round. 3 guys Palace to kick it off. We hadn't quite seen that, and it works out.
Yeah, I like the calls from Nexa. A lot of the fast stuff that we're used to seeing, grouping up with threes.
Yuri's flash. Ooh. There are players in underpass. That could have been him sandwiched between G2, but he slips out. And Vinny last round, man, he peeks into Palace. He could have just lined them all up with a crazy spray, but it was a quick trade
by Nico.
Yep. And then with that momentum, he just kept the ball rolling. Hunter, he looks to come out from connector, or does he just stick to the corner now? He's got the info he needs.
A lot of times you got to work really hard to get to this position. You know, it's a great outpost. They have the man advantage as well. Not a real big incentive for him to push too early. His teammates are going to come up the ramp real soon, and it's a scary spot for the CTs. They want to clear this out, but they're scared too.
Honda making a bunch of noise. Didn't quite complete the peek around into the corner. Vinny's posted with the op. Amanek about to go into it. There's a cost to that peek. Again, just one of 2 weapons here for Furia. Hunter's looking to activate, but he's been smoked out here, so he just creeps into the staircase. Vinny's right there in front of him. Easy one tap, and that opens up the site, but Honda coming in with the deagle, only able to get the 1. This is not Inferno B site, not again. Nico looks to give chase as Yuri slips into connector. Smoke fades, and so do the chances here for Furia. Quesarado, though, deagle in hand, flash to the face, has to fall back, and he could very well concede this 7th round and give it to G2.
Liking very much the way that G2 have come back into the second game, because the first few rounds, it looked a bit sketchy. Some of the discombobulation between the Cat and Apps players in those early situations had me a bit worried, but it seems like they're back. The cohesion's there, the executions are there, they're moving nice and quick. I think this is definitely G2 at their highest potential. And on the other side of that, of course, we got Furia. We've got Art, who's been shut down a couple of rounds now with his op in a couple of different positions. But that doesn't discredit the amount of impact he's had on the rounds that they've won. And even, on that round where Amanek got his 2K entry on B, he had a very nice op shot to start the round out. So I would say Art is playing incredibly intelligently and hitting most of his very important kills. So that's still a good sign for Furia, and I think the scoreline represents that. A very close game, bit more lopsided because G2 overall are playing better, but I think Art's playing at his maximum potential, and we still got stuff to see from Furia.
Vinny clearly a little frustrated with the fact that he gets 1 tapped in that last round. Just kind of sitting inside of the site, thought he was safe.
Yeah, that was just perfect timing from Hunter for when to come out. And yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that can be done here still. We haven't had so much Art playing inside of the ladder room, which he used to do a lot more, in other situations. Instead, he's been playing more outside of the window, round underpass, and on Cat, just around the bricks or farther out. But in a couple of those situations, he's been shut down. So we'll see if there's even going to be another situation where he can buy one. At this point, 5-7, only pistols up. We've got to take this one on the chin, try to pull out a magical eco.
After that 5-round spree, it's now 3 in a row for G2. So it's their turn to try and finish this on fire.
I'm very much looking forward to the TD side from G2 as well.
Yeah, to see whether it has improved as much as their Inferno. Plus Furia on a T side.
Yeah.
A challenge.
Yeah, so Honda, when I looked at the 2 maps, the 2 series that he had recorded on HLTV, there are more, but just not on HLTV. Mirage, he had 1 map, had a 19 kill T side, and then the other map had a 16 kill T side. So very, very strong for a small sample size.
Well, these deagles are working out. Yuri almost able to add himself another. Honda and Quesarado come in with kills. It's just Kenny left over. Oh, what? The man's in the skies. And now this clutch could still slip through, tapping away with the AK. Quesarado gets the better of him, and Furia win a round they should have never taken off of G2. 6-7 the score. with a bit of a robbery in that 13th.
That was damn close.
Look at this.
Oh, thank God we got this angle, because he was definitely not touching the ground in any form or fashion.
Damn, that's like a get right throwback.
That was sweet. And Yuri sent through the murder hole as well.
Do you remember that Tech 9 headshot from Get Right
Head
on
shit?
Nuke?
Yeah. Little shit chat? Oh man, hope you're watching Get Right. Legend! Miss you, my friend.
Yeah. An incredible Valorant pro. The memes. Kenny S. Ooh, that frag grenade basically had his name on it. He's got shin splints. He also has a single smoke, the only piece of utility for G2, and the only weapon they have is obviously this AK in the hands of Nico. So they block off the smoke at the top of connector. Access denied. Throwback to that round where Hunter comes out onto the staircase and one-taps Vinny. Remember, that's all fabricated for G2, right? That smoke comes from their A players. Furia fall for it, hook, line, and sinker.
They know, yeah. Ooh, okay. The boost and underpass, it works out very well. Look, the different looks they've had on mid are nice, man. They've made such good adjustments, and they're recognizing that connector's been free most of the time. Sometimes you might just glaze over this, not realize that this is open to you. And every single time, G2 have gone out for it when it's been there to take. This puts tons of pressure on Vinny. He's going to get shot in the feet in just a second, but he does still get his kill.
Arts with the op, also getting himself a frag here. Just doing a really good job of minimalizing the peaks, not offering his body, and yet taking those of G2. They've got their bomb stranded inside of the connector. Kenny makes a critical error, and there's the headshot from Nico. You love to see it. Flash comes off of the staircase. Vinny decides not to hyperextend, and then as he does, it succeeds. Furia tying this first half up at 7 rounds apiece.
It's been a very fun half so far. Looking forward to what comes in the second. Glad to see this be so close as well. And do we have an op to close it out is the question. Not a lot of money here, but Kenny asks, he could go glass cannon if he wanted to. Looks like not.
No.
He's not going to try for it. Utility belt in full here. Mirage T side, I wouldn't rate it as one of the maps you need the most amount of utility to win. There's a lot of very, very clean strats that don't require tons. But here, and it looks like they're going to try to go for something fast. And mobility is another reason you want AKs out.
Vinny's on the firebox. He's got a couple players ahead of him. Kenny S able to find the headshot, though. That clears up the bomb site until these two CTs come to their spawn peak. Of course, that being Honda and K Serato. Nico thinking about going for the bomb plant, but these guys are stranded back in firebox. Art's a little concerned with the mid play, but of course there's nobody back here. You can see Furia thinking maybe they're being flanked, but everybody for G2 is sitting hunkered down on this bomb site. Kenny, he is given the peek he needs. Amanek finding that trade versus K Serato, and Honda, well, they know he's right there back by ticking. Great wall bang, but an even better frag. And now to close out the first half, it's a Nico VR 1v1, and he taps into the side of the head. G2 closing with the lead.
like to just shout out a DM message that I got from Mr. Michael McDaniel. I don't know if that's a real name or not. He said, "Are Prius and Honda friends?"
They must be. I mean, who's not friends with DJ and or Prius?
They should be. Friends with all their... And also, I'd like to shout out Honda's YouTube channel. Because he puts together, like, he's got, like, some pretty good viewership, too, on his YouTube channel. Lots of frag highlight montages with good music.
Is it a...
Chill, super, lots of highlights.
All gas, no brakes?
Basically.
Okay.
Good stuff. Honda OG on Twitter, I think, if you guys can't find him.
The original.
Oh, who's the OG?
Vinny. That's nasty. Oh, and the second one.
Click, clack.
And then Yuri takes away the third, but in Vinny's mind, he's still on a roll. And that P2K could do him justice, but it's Hunter instead to take it back a bit. Joey, you already know what I'm asking for, bro. I want that first tap from Vinny because it cracks the A site so open, so quickly, in fact, that there was no stopping Furia from flooding forward.
Yeah, that was quick. Hey, listen, I think with Furia winning this pistol, I'm going to call this game as even as possible. I'm saying it's going to come down to the 30th round.
Well, it is tied at 8.
I feel like I'd say G2 are playing better, but with the score going to be a little bit lopsided off the back of an anti-eco or two by Furia. Supposing they win, I think, I think we're going to see a strong CT side from G2 and a real test here for Furia, but yeah, a nice hot start to at least alleviate some of the tension.
Enjoy.
Look at this. Oh, the sickness. That was just to the top of stairs, off the corner of the smoke. Literally, I don't think he even saw him before the smoke came up.
Nope.
Just a pre-fire. I think Kenny S maybe shot one bullet, if that. Nasty, nasty stuff. The alligator crunch of the P250 to the top of the staircase.
We've got Furia off to the races. Scout in the hands of Amanek, Deagles across the board for G2, and a very quick catwalk smoke to try and deny Nico crucial vision, crucial information. But whether or not G2 knows this is coming to the B site, that is still where they stack. So it's not like they have to shuffle their feet from the opposite side of the map. They're already in position to stop this. It's just more of a question of, do Furia follow forward, or do they take their time? Because they've got still more than a minute. Suss out the situation and go towards A. It would be the safer bet.
Another outpost situation here inside of the halls, like a nice crossfire that can be maintained.
That's bomb.
Yeah, and AK picked up in a very, very strong angle to make it a multi. He's looking for more. He won't get the third, but he does some damage and sees the guy in the back as well. Intentions are known, and Kenny S makes his presence as well.
Yeah, he just slaps down Art. Great grenade comes out from K Serato. That one's going to blow Amanek into tomorrow. And Kenny, he's distracted. And then K Serato doubles down, opens up this B site. What should have been G2 closing the force buy.
He could, Nico could still win this.
Absolutely.
The amount of HP, it's literally 3 Deagle shots between the two of them. He might either think this is a fake on purpose, right? The running away, or, yeah, this is what he thinks. Someone is running away to purposefully bait him. He's not correct about it, but he has the added benefit of finding a gun if he goes for the retake. So let's see how quickly he gets the information. It looks like he's just assuming they're faking. He's wrong. It looks like he'll save a gun this round. Unfortunate. Kenny picked the wrong of 2 timings, right? Either go right away and get the gun, or wait until the kill comes, but instead waited and then went to go get the gun and got shot. Very sad situation there. It's going to happen, but I think that's one of those situations where maybe he kind of made a poor decision in the sense of, like, the odds of the timing coming through. Well, looks like Nico's actually still going to think about going for this, even though there's not a lot of time here. Guess it is just a Galil.
We've got Yuri committed very much to the Palace, so that's going to be the round win, you'd think. And K Serato needs no help. That's 4 kills for K Serato. A very crucial recovery on that B site, offered over by Kenny S.
Yeah, asking a lot. Yeah, there it is. Of course, he's within 1 second of getting away, but he also is running away. So
yeah.
K Serato picks his timing wisely. That's a round 1. The hype is there from Honda. New boy on the block. Kind of quiet there on the CT side. Let's see if he's comfortable on T side, because on Inferno T side, I can understand not being comfortable. It's not an easy map to figure yourself into at this level. Stuff gets very complicated. I noticed it felt like he was playing well, and even though he went a little bit quiet, he's still, to be fair to him, at 17, 18 kills and a really, really strong first half. but it felt like he wasn't aware when he was taking risks. Not so much he was doing stupid plays, but he wasn't aware of the punishing setups that G2 would have. And like, watch as many demos as you want, but you've got to get in the server and really understand like what it's like to go up against those. You got to
learn from mistakes.
It looks easy when we see it with X-Ray and we see how they set up, but like, of course, that's just something, that's where experience actually matters, right?
I was thinking when we had...
It's not so much about his skill, it's just about being used to.
Prime example, man. Nico boosted up on top of logs, that two-man stack with the smoke top mid. Honda comes around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. Yeah, those situations, players just more experienced, just not going to get caught off as often. And in a best of one half, just a few rifle rounds, you can get caught off every single time. So Mirage, hey, it's a much more even playing field on Mirage. Let's see what he can do on T side if he feels comfortable. I know they're going to give him the keys. Hey, do your thing. Get out there, be the art 2.0.
Blow up from Vinny. Gonna die to Kenny S. Traded though back by Honda, of course, who then continues on closer towards the jungle. Hunter, ooh, hide it in the bushes. Great CZ headshot keeps this one even, but then Art again. Efficient trade fragging coming out of Furia. Honda to Vinny, Art to Honda. And then Art really extends the success here for Furia to find double digits. This is going to be 10 rounds to 8, with their T side off to a flying 3-0 start.
Okay. So last 3 times they played Mirage. 1917 for G2 most recently. Last Winterfall Finals 2020, just a month ago. Then a week before that, DreamHack Masters winner. 16-13, also in favor of G2, so a very close game. And then right before that at the Fall Series, it was a 16-10 for G2. So 3 wins in a row on Mirage for G2, albeit close games. And also has gone closer and closer. So maybe this will be the one, the straw that breaks the camel's back, as they say. Furia proving that the head-to-head doesn't mean anything coming into 2021. This would be a statement match for them to start off the year.
Yeah, it's the map wins were consistent across the board last year. You know, Inferno was Furia's, Mirage to G2. It was Nuke that flopped back and forth. And that is the map that we have up next if Furia can do what was done to them, rob their opponent's map pick. We are back into the full buys, though. This is G2's chance for their CT side to establish itself. Remember, back to Inferno, we saw Furious kick off that T side with the 3-0, just like this one here and now. And then from that point onwards, only a single round before they lost the map. So, we'll see. It's a good buy from G2, and no big risks being played. 2 players sit outside of the B apps. We've got close proximity with Nexa here on ramp, and it looks like it's going to be Nexa versus Vinny to kick off this 19th round. Nexa just jiggling it, teasing, flirting with the possibility of going to the peak, but instead, he lays down that smoke.
It'll kill some time, but Furia, they never wait till the last second, so it's not a really big deal on Inferno to get smoked out of a position like this. It does cause them to reroute and think about approaching the map in a new way, but no option is all that bad. At the moment, 3-2 setup, not a lot of pressure on Cat, so this might be the best. And Nico gets spotted in the top of connector, cannot fall down safely, and also gets punished falling back.
Amanek gets wrecked, Nexa and Hunter, that's the answer, that's the response they need. And Hunter, well, he just slips back down into the van case. Dorado gets cleared off the board, and now it all falls on the shoulders of Yuri. He's walking into a predicted position. Kenny has him dead to rights, and G2's first gun round nets them success.
Yeah, all eyes on Hunter. Malik comes over to hit him on the shoulder. This is such a fantastic hold by him. Clinical with the M4. 3rd kill, no less impressive than the first 2. Really, really good stuff. Toying with his food here. And yeah, he holds it down. Not enough pressure to keep him out. And it was actually, again, the right strat. Like the right approach from Furia. They even punished Nico. It's a 4v5 to start things out. They need to hold the B site. If you let that go, there's no retake in sight, especially with an A player dead that early.
Damn, look at this thing.
You designed this. Oh, that's so sick, actually. It's his sticker. Wow.
Ooh, misses the flip. Oh no, he hits it. He hits it.
Does some damage, yeah.
Not quite the kill. Finished off by Nico. Nicely done. Make quick work of Art. Neutralize these early threats. Frag is good. 69 health left for Honda. His head has been spotted by Nico, who goes back but misses. Utility exchanged here. and they're hoping for some kind of a challenge, some sort of a peek. He throws himself through the fire. Risky business.
Looks like it's open. Nico's got to play for himself with nobody, you know, to help him inside of jungle. So it means jostling back and forth between connector and window at his leisure, at his discretion. And now find himself moving to the top of stairs. It looks like Yuri might peek into him. We'll see. Oh, wow. It's kind of the perfect angle to catch the jump up, but he falls back and gets dropped.
Oh, but they line up. And that could have been Nexa's chance to just equalize this, even take the favor. Amanek catches the head of Honda. We could have the bomb plant coming through on the side of connector. Ooh, great flick up, but Kenny's still dead. It's little HP for K Serato, caught between two CTs. They will take them down. They will find their 10th round, but at a cost.
Yeah.
All things considered, 3 casualties racked up versus G2. They're able to get that op back for Kenny, so economy could still stabilize, and so does this round count.
I'm super impressed with this is 2 rounds in a row that they've lost Nico. And that's, you know, that's a situation where most teams are just going to, I mean, most teams like G2 or FaZe, whatever the 2 last teams Nico played for. I mean, he's going to be a key piece. He's playing connector, they're attacking connector, or they're attacking cat. He's going to be needed to take down, you know, more than 1 kill. But so far, the cohesion between the remaining 4 players has been great. This is very scary for Furia, considering the way that he's died in those past couple of rounds. You could call it unlucky. He's definitely going to have some multi-kill rounds left in this half.
Honda wasting no time here. Kenny should have heard that. Oh, but he's concerned about connector. Eyes drawn in 2 directions. If that smoke fades, these 2 Ts on full display, and Kenny takes down the bottom of the totem pole. Repeaks for the 2nd kill. Fare thee well, Yuri. And it's all too easy here for G2. K Serato's going to answer with a deagle kill, but that's only 1 frag so far for Furia. And there shouldn't be anything else for them to take away in round 21.
They're very, very sharp at the moment. Everything's looking very, very good. From a killing perspective, clean stuff from Hunter, nice shots from Kenny S. Awkward situation where they just could not find the boost into the ladder room. 3 jumps that they couldn't get up, and I think Kenny heard every single one that missed. K Serato 1-on-4 situation, no man's land in the window, shot in the back of the head, taken out by Kenny. 3 kills on the round, 10-11, and G2 have a harsh economic lead, as well as a small numerical one. Probably be 12-10 here after this round, and back to the drawing board for Furia. Tactically speaking, not bad rounds, but Mirage is just not one of those maps where you can do anything that's too innovative tactically, so it's really just about shooting hot. I think the mechanics are going to be the thing that's most tested here for Furia. Can they keep up with the insane refragging potential of G2? Device called this team the most stacked team in Europe in terms of talent. Towards the end of the year, it started to fall off a little bit individually. Seems like everybody is in really, really good form right now, even though it is the first event of 2021.
And if they can continue with these CT round wins, then suddenly this defense looks incredible. But K Serato dies, or rather kills Amanek.
Yeah.
Little Tech 9 over the smoke, bit of a gimmick, but hell, it works. Man advantage, weapon advantage, utility advantage.
It's a lot of advantages.
It is indeed a massive advantage here for G2 in round 22. Again, throwback to our first map on Inferno. It was the CT side, started strong for Furia, but then weapons forced it to fizzle out. And we have a similar situation. Nico and Nexa going to close up shop. Sure enough now, this is 4 consecutive CT round wins. We've got G2 on the cusp of being on fire.
Yeah, very close. And not looking like they're going to slow down either. So I really thought this game would be close. It'll be one of the final tests to see if that's even possible. What are Furia going to be able to pull out now? Again, the scary part is the fact that the IGLing is good. Art seems like he's playing. He's like removed the fogginess. He's looking very sharp. He's playing all the key plays, especially in that first half. Now it seems like he's calling very well, but they're still not winning the rounds. So what are they going to do? They even have one of the most important win conditions. Kill Nico without a refrag. In connector, they did 2 rounds and still lost. They can't deal with Hunter. They can't deal with Kenny S. Almanac still standing tall on B. They've got a statuesque defense on the CT side right now. Where are the feet of clay?
Furia's real chance. Oh, but they just missed their window smoke. Oh, but still, they catch Nico trying to go for that cat jump. Then they go ahead and throw that down. They're still playing for window control. Art, he's thrown himself up into the window, but sure enough, Kenny, despite being blind, still finds his frag. Yuri gets taken down low, and sure enough, finished off by Hunter. Kenny now in a bit of a pickle. High pressure situation, flashing for the exit. He's still hanging on. He's given a chance, but of course, in that kind of a position, the chance is so against him. Nexa, element of surprise, getting the better of Honda, getting the better of Furia. Now in the 3v2, and on top of that, we've got Amanek.
You didn't see it.
See bomb. Oh! And had he seen that, he definitely would have had gun out and would have been on high alert for that peek from Vinny.
And look at the outpost. He's got the cross back into B.
Unlucky.
They know. I mean, they're going to watch for this. Maybe call it 50-50. Let's see if Caserado will win. He does end up outgunning his opponent, Hunter. Nexa will be next up to bat, and it's going to be a 1v1 on the B side if he wins this. If he can, and he can't even get the kill. He's going to pull Caserado back a little bit. Nexa going to put down the incendiary and can't find the remaining damage. He has to worry about the clamp down from the flank, and this is where things just get hairy. He would love to just get this kill before starting off on the 1v1 retake. And he might be able to find it. Yeah, he does. There's enough time to go still.
Definitely. He's got the smoke, he's got the flash, and he still has 61 HP. An immediate flash out from the window. Vinny, he's just going to play behind that column. Nexa, time ticking quickly. He's going to have to clear a minimal amount of positions, and he gets found out with smoke in hand. Furia. I mean, Lady Luck blesses them there in round 23. If Amanek sees that bomb on ramp,
yeah, it's a matter of an arbitrary position where the bomb falls. Absolutely. I mean, he would have just stopped, and then that's it. Vinny would have not heard footsteps for a second, had to look for him. Amanek would have been suspicious of someone coming back for it. Definitely comes down to a little bit of luck there. Not a great sign for Furia that's how they pull it off in that sense as well. Another round where they get Nico as the first kill of the round and damn near clues it. And this time it's 5v4 with Nico alive. Furia do not have enough money to justify, losing a player this early, considering what they've just gone through in these past 2 rounds. It's a very scary situation here for Furia. Uh-oh.
I don't think anybody's close enough to hear that, though.
Maybe, yeah.
Ooh, they've been leaving this. Maybe because of the consistency of the window boosts, G2 opt not to break this vent. I mean, clearly it hinders Furia.
Yeah, I think the only thing about this window vent being broken is people get too comfortable with it. Like, they play so far away from it that you can actually create a timing for yourself. Because the CTs, they're not always just going to watch it. We can see from this angle, totally vacant. And so at a certain point, yeah, you can pop it open. Now the CTs, they're actually a little bit nervous, right? Look, they actually come through into the B split. No CTs are watching this because they're too confident that it's being covered.
Amanek! Oh, Honda! He turns his head with 1 HP and denies Amanek what could have been a total shutdown. He could have gotten both of those players, left it in a 3 or 4 versus 2, would have dropped bomb inside of apartments and made those market men, their job would have been impossible. But instead, 1 HP makes a world of difference.
Yeah, but there's still more players coming through in market. No kill on the other player in the site. He potentially got the bomb dropped inside of the B halls, and that would have been something.
Spidey senses, man.
The problems would have continued. Like, how do you even rotate when market control gets taken first?
Sure. For
the CTs that are there, so 4 alive, right? Really great awareness from Honda. He fits right into this round.
Yep.
Honda fits right in.
Don't look at me with that smile. 12 rounds apiece.
That was for Jason. I was just thinking about Jason's tweet about,
Mr.
please stop
Moses.
with the car puns.
Yeah, everybody on Twitter, stop with the cars puns, because we're holding them all for the casts. You take away all those big lines, what are we left with?
Mm-hmm. Or you just put them out there, and then we could take them without referencing you and then claim that we came up with it ourselves.
Okay, I see your play.
Yeah. We could make a real odyssey of it. Shout out to Jason Moses O'Toole.
Probably got the guy pulling his hair out. Next up, he waits. Patiently. There's a player right there. And not a problem. Nico's got the headshot that he needs. 5v4 advantage, but look at Furia not looking to let off the gas pedal. They are just hanging on here, waiting for mid control to get all the closer. Vinny getting the better of Nexa towards Palace. This pushes pressure onto the player inside of sight, but Hunter catching a man in jungle. Now it's on Vinny to continue with success, but Kenny S with the op up and a man advantage here for G2. Deep frag, and Vinny's now down to a quarter HP.
And then Molly as well. It's not going to go deep. Oh, it is. Oh, it's so close. Vinny's going to move up off of it. And listen, the damage is worth something, but it is a 2-on-2, and they've got headshot angles to play with.
Yeah.
Let's see if the CTs make a misstep.
They can get some
One will fall back, but they
clean
don't know.
headshots.
It's about patience now. Come back. Wow.
Close enough. Faminek down to 34. Vinny 4 HP.
Damn.
2 HP per opponent. And he almost gets himself.
Chances.
So damn close, but no cigar. A 13th round for G2.
You could say it comes down to some of the nade damage at least, you know? Like that helped them win those fights because they did take a lot more than they gave in that 2v2. Now here's them watching window a little bit more actively, at least, and punishing the play. Okay. Honda has been the player to just get in there as many times as possible. Just basically trying to create space. Like, get in there, use himself as a baneling, get a kill, get some damage in, die if not, get some info. But it is not working out too well. Not too well. It's interesting because Honda appears to be fitting in a way that Junior would not be. So tailoring the game plan to the player
Nexus saw that.
they have is great. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna get cleared. My goodness, leave it to Yuri.
Amanek sees a player coming up catwalk, hears the footsteps inside of the apartments. Oh, and Honda's got him dead to rights. Furia.
Oh, we're in business.
Sliding their way into this B bomb site with a 2-man advantage. Low utility for the post plant, and Hunter's gonna find some kind of a success here for G2. If he gets another kill, then maybe the retake gets rolling. Vinny gonna give him a little bit more room to work with, and that frag, yeah, that's damage done. Smoke, flash, and a flashback the other way. Hunter, he can't commit to this. They're gonna have to concede a 13th, and we are tied up yet again.
Oh, there's too many points of contact, but they can't actually make progress up into Cat. It looked like they were trying to go for that, and now they make it a 3v3. They've got 3 tucked in the site, gonna exit through market. No opponents on the other side. A strong round for Furia, and we are wrapping this game up in a very close situation where Furia still have time to show us that they can improve, right? We're looking for adaptations now. It appears G2 are the better team coming into this half, but it's whoever wins the later rounds that will always leave the strongest impression. So what can Furia do? Are they actually showing us marked improvement? Are they able to exploit B, I want to say, more often now? The last few rounds here, I think game plans towards B make sense. We've seen early on that Cat has been open and exploitable, that their B apps hits have been pretty strong. We saw the Cat splits work on anti-ecos as well as full-on rifle rounds. I think this is something that they might want to consider trying more. And it's at the point where, correct me if I'm wrong, if Furia win one more round, then we have an eco from G2.
Looking likely.
Yeah, so this is the kind of situation where I think if I'm G2, I'm talking about B a lot.
Okay.
But at the same time being afraid of the fact that Furia might try to mind game that, right? I think Furia proved a lot so far in this game about their B attacks. And so it's going to be this balance, I think, between how heavily do we want to pay attention to it early on and how much do we want to think that they're going to read into it and play differently. Oh, look at this. Yeah, they're going for the ladder room control. I think it's a very smart move from G2. It shows a lot that they are thinking about it, but it doesn't overcommit to the site itself, which is something you don't want to do on Barrage. Waste resources on the B site.
Oh, that frag. Decent. For a quick little underhand, Honda down to half health.
What on earth?
Let's not talk about
We
it.
don't have to.
Nope. He's looking for the angle. Oh, but he gets boosted up, and Honda, he doesn't quite give cover. Nexa is able to get the kill. Honda, then the next casualty. Nexa looking for a little bit more, and there are still players to take down towards mid. Yuri working into the connector and off the flash, a little bit of a peek, but not too much of a gamble. A double man advantage with a broken economy would be huge for G2 to lose. Furia looking for some kind of an answer, trying to piece together a response. And as time goes on, Nexa getting more and more curious, no longer just going for the bottom connector peak, but slightly further out. Meanwhile, that has given time for the bomb carrier in Quesarado to double back through underpass and join up with Vinny. They're going to leave Yuri as an anchor and connector, and Hunter is honing in on him. Making sound, in fact. That just turned the attention of Yuri. And obviously Nexa running around towards jungle. Yuri, his head is on a swivel.
7 seconds to go. They can't even plant the bomb.
Oh my.
Whoa, they can't even try this. They aren't even going to. They're going to get hunted down in the last few moments. CTs can come out and try to get the kills. They don't take out Yuri. Actually critically important that he stays alive, but that is not every day. Somewhat significant, I guess, when we think about how this round has gone, but their attack was towards the window, and then it just ended up fizzling out completely. Not a great sign. Not a great sign.
Hitting a bit of wall with that one.
That was definitely a scary moment.
Never at any point when I'm casting G2 and Furia am I expecting a clock to run out.
Well, with G2 maybe.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Furia on the T side, man, that's uncharacteristic.
Definitely, very much. And the way that you were casting it, I was so engrossed with it that it really felt like there was 30 seconds or more left. Yeah, I was with you.
Too,
I was with you because I've never seen that happen for Furia, where it looked like they were very much in it, right? They were still attacking window. They were inside connector. They were on cat. I mean, listen, if they had another minute left, they would have made something happen. They were in such great positions. But they were playing like they had a minute left when they were down to 8 seconds. Not sure what the hell happened, but we have to move on forward.
Yep.
Furia do have the opportunity to buy, unlike G2, so it would have been a great round for Furia to win, but at least they can buy, even though Honda has to make a great concession here with just the Deagle.
Oh, good call. Art, wild spam through smoke. Kenny S wants to get the hell out of dodge, and he's met by a Molotov as he continues on in the retreat. Art trying to follow suit, gets the better of Nico. Another early pickup, but here comes Nexa. Off of the window, he's got himself a kill, and Kenny S can even answer despite having 14 HP. Honda's looking for this trade frag, runs through smoke, can't find him. Kenny, combat opping with Honda now on an AK, but Hunter emerges through the smoke, and it's an emergency situation that Honda still holds on to. Kenny, up close, goes down, and this is a chance now. A minute on the clock, bomb on his back, 100 HP each. Honda, let's see what you're made of.
He has to make a very important decision. Now, it could be to him a 50-50, but Nexa awaits him on the B site. 50 seconds up, he's running the entire way. Total gamble here, and Nexa, I think at this point, he might try to get comfortable. Look at Honda. He's trying to, it looks like he's going to commit to B and just check the underpass flank. I don't know if he walks out or not, but now, maybe he is going to. Potentially, I don't know what he's assuming about where Nexa's gone, but the sound bait might have worked. Hard to say if Nexa heard him, but it feels like he's very, very comfortable inside of the B site, all the way over at Van. He'll be able to walk up connector. This looks like a clutch in the making. He'll even pick up a very important piece of utility to allow him to plant at the opposite side of triple, where Nexa is going to first show himself. How will he play this now?
The only two kits I can see are sitting inside of connector, so if Nexa jumps over to window, that's going to add 5 seconds to his defuse, but he's walking right into the kill, and Honda pulls out a crucial clutch, ties the game at 14 rounds, and keeps Furia alive and kicking.
I won't lie. Based on that miss smoked in the window from that last round, the way he was running up towards B, it felt like he was being a bit reckless.
Man.
And then it seemed like he was going to commit hard, but it was just all part of the bait. Offshot dropped here from Kenny S, but it allowed us to showcase some very smart moves here from Honda. Nicely done in the 1v1. And yeah, that's Nexa out. He really, I mean, he bid on that hard. G2, even though they survived that previous round, still don't have enough money to buy. Furia can take this to round 30.
Wow. To take this map off of G2 despite never being able to do it in 2020. B-site already underneath the feet of Furia. Easy 15th round for them as far as I'm concerned. Nobody's even here to stop it.
Another B attack. and it's the correct move. Now, honestly, G2, the calling has been exceptional on CT side. I love the setups. They even moved into the two CTs inside of the window inside of ladder room to cover both exits, and that has been fruitful because there's been so many window attacks from Furia. And G2 did this cool thing where they didn't rely on it at first. They just kept Nico and Connector and were pretty passive outside of that. And then later in the half, in these last few rounds, started to implement it more as a change-up, and that's caught Furia off guard. So here's where the cards have been shown on both sides as we wrap up this half, and it looks like Kenny S just wants to try to tap the ball, I guess. Okay. Ends up dying. I guess, no matter what, he's going to upgrade on this next round, so no big deal. And now we'll see. I'm not calling this one too soon. I think I'd probably lean G2 a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Even with a somewhat limited buy?
Just because of what we've seen this half.
Okay.
They've won without Nico a few times. They've called really, really good setups on the CT side. And I think Furia rely heavily on B hits at the moment. And that's being attacked directly. And they even only won their last round with a 1v2 from Honda.
It's coming down to the nitty-gritty.
Malik sitting here in the room with solar panels. Gathering the energy.
You're a funny guy. But not a funny situation. This is serious. Mm-hmm. Opening game at the Blast Global Finals. The opening tournament of 2021. And the real nail in the coffin in terms of last year's circuit. Furia doing as they have and keeping Mirage close, but to have this one-round lead, to have that 15th point secured, that's got to be a small sigh of relief, but the job's not quite over.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting because they've got full pressure on the A site, but no bomb. So that tells us a lot about the plan from Furia. They're expecting a push. They've got the two-prong setup in the halls as well. So really, really thinking that the CTs are going to go for some late aggression. But no way to get that aggression out of them besides this 1B player. And I don't know if he's parting ways with his utility just yet. But again, they've got to go back and collect a bomb. And it feels like at this point, they are going to bring it back to A. How they approach it is another question. It looks like Art is planning to pull out a fake in this final round. This will be interesting. Something new. First tier execute comes out on the A site. I don't even know where they end at this point. And if they're trying to show bomb or get into the underpass and commit to A. It looks like he's trying to show bomb. And I don't know if they're going to commit to the site.
Oh, that's risky.
Holy hell.
Risky business in round 30.
Oh my God. If they pull this off. If they pull this off. Oh my God, he did it. He did it. He's trying to get the rotation. They didn't move.
Nope. And they've still got this player towards Connector, but Nico's incredibly low. Oh, he dodges down. He needs the kill. Honda's in the open, gets a frag over Nico's shoulder, and that opens up this A site. More damage being tapped back, but it all falls on Amanek, and Furia are staring a 16th round in the face. It didn't move anybody over, but the A play was still so successful that they got what they wanted. 5 seconds to spare, and this bomb has gone down. Amanek needs a 1v4, or Furia has traded maps with G2 Esports to start off this event, to push this onto Nuke, where this series always seems to go. And what lies in wait, we don't know, but Amanek caught from all directions. Furia take Mirage.
They made him just uncomfortable enough. Nico down to the final step, and Connector didn't want to be there. That's all they needed to do. A very brave call from Art to make in the final round of a game, to try to show bomb in the B halls and make it a fake over towards A. It was risky, it was brave, it was unique to him. Don't see those rounds being called very often, but it works. And that's Furia making history here in Mirage, at least for themselves.
Damn, we've got ourselves a couple of close maps to kick off this series. And we've got Nuke up next, so let's leave it there. We'll have our analysts after the break, and we'll see you guys soon for map 3.
It may have been G2's pick, but Furia came up strong, and Honda is still smiling. Although he didn't put off the incredible performance that we saw at the beginning of the opening rounds, he did bring us a second wind, and all of Furia fought from the start to finish here as G2, they struggle in a way that I would say now for this lineup isn't acceptable.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Already for G2, no matter if they win the third map, this would have been a meh result. The fact that they dropped that map to Furia, and also if we just go back 7 or 8 rounds, I feel like G2 were in complete control. Nexa had these strings of rounds where his positioning was perfect on the CT side, at a couple of times in the ladder room, and then under Heaven on the A side, under Shadow on the A side. You could feel that he was reading the game, and G2 were up, they had the money, they had the control, they had everything. And then somehow Art finding again these sneaky little plays, right? And then Honda with the clutch against Amanek as well when he plants the bomb on A. All these rounds, finally they pull it back together.
They really did pull it back together. And this is now where I do start to think, okay, is there a wild world where G2 do break down here? Because we saw a bit of frustration on the first map. We come into the second one and they've ended up losing it. I'm nervous for him.
Yeah, I would be a little bit nervous as well, considering how the map played out. As Matthew was saying, it was a back and forth, and all G2 had to do basically to win this game was win 2 rounds in a row when the game got back to the nitty-gritty, and they couldn't punish Furia. They couldn't win 2 rounds in a row, and at the end of the day, that cost them the map. I still think there was great opportunities for G2 here to close it out 2-0, but it does worry me a little bit they weren't able to do it. Honda, as you said, didn't have the greatest game ever, but when he needed to be there, when he came in clutch, and he was actually winning a very impressive clutch against Nexa, a 1 versus 2 where Kenny S missed the shot as well, was again with the AWP a little bit, it worries me that we see the same tendency as we saw later stages of 2020. Kenny S is not the same Kenny S he was a couple of years ago, and he's not hitting all the shots you expect him to, and this time around, it cost him around that potentially cost him the game.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for sure, but that final round was a bit of Art's brilliance, to be sure, because he likes to dupe him out a bit here.
Yeah, I mean, we have to play the last round again as a replay and talk about it with the viewers because it is so amazing, right? This is the last round of the game. As you can see, round number 30, 45 seconds left. And Hart is going to do what he used to do on Inferno as well. He's going to show the bomb. He's actively showing the bomb. He's making sure they see him just to make sure to create that rotation, because if you see the bomb with 35 seconds left, this should be a B play. And as you can see, Nico, he just moved out of position. Nexa stepped 1 centimeter to the left, and that was it. From this point on, it's Furia just racking it on the A side. So Art, this is what I call high risk, high reward.
Yeah. If
you drop the bomb in B apps at that moment with 40 seconds left, that could be it. The round could be over. But if it works out, if you show the bomb and stay alive, suddenly the rotations kicks in, and then you have that 30 round. So a sneaky play, but it worked out.
I agree. If this is on purpose from Art, I fully agree with you.
I think it is.
You said you think it is, and when I thought the first time around, I thought it was on purpose again. But I actually want to play the clip one more time because I want to see it and I want to understand what's going on right here. Because I'm not quite sure that was on purpose. He showed way too much of his body right here to be on purpose. We're gonna play the clip out once again, and we're gonna see Art with the bump. We could probably go ahead a little bit in the clip, but Art showing himself with the bump right here. Sure, it's a genius move if he does it on purpose, but it's such a high risk, high reward.
They actually started with a fake on A. They had the smokes, they had the Molotovs.
Sure, but look at this, right? We're going to stop the clip not now, but in just a couple of seconds, we'll let it play out. Art is all the way out here.
I know.
He's in such a high-risk position. If you stop it right here, look how exposed he is. This cannot be a fake with the bomb. You're so fast.
No, but he did it on B. Jacob, he did it on Inferno, where he smoked the first box, planted and went back.
That's different.
He had a smoke to cover him, right? But it's the same philosophy.
You lose the bomb right here. You lose the bomb right here.
But it's the same on Inferno.
Round over.
I agree with you.
No, it's not the same on Inferno.
I agree with you.
Way more smoke cover. I want to ask him after the game. If it's on purpose, I'm not quite sure whether it is or not. But if it's on purpose, he's a genius. But if not, then they got lucky right here.
All right, boys. All right. I got to control the kids for a second, because that's one thing, right? We do look at Art in a different way to how most players would play it, and I will agree, right? It's very risky, but they do take those risks. They do take them chances. We will maybe ask Art when it comes to the interview for it, but either way, it netted them around, and you saw everyone on G2 was out of position, and they got taken advantage of.
Yes, high risk, high reward. I would agree. I think we should talk to him and see what's your plan now.
He'll go, I didn't remember that round.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that round. We could play a third time. Now we move on to Nuke, right? And I think Art is going to remain the center of the conversation, because indeed he found some crazy rounds on that Mirage game, but when it comes to Nuke And the times we have seen Furia, he was a liability. He has been a liability for Furia on the CT side specifically. And I want to see him having a new layer to it. Now you have Honda coming in as well.
Yeah.
We know that Nuke can be very tactically heavy for a team in terms of rotations and protocols you have to have in place. It's not the easiest map to have a stand in. We cannot allow Art to be a liability towards outside, because G2, they're going to exploit it if that's the case.
And this is the thing, right? For me, when I look at Nuke, it's Art comes in this ride or die mentality because he will push and he doesn't learn from his actions over and over again. G2 exploited that last time, they were well aware of it, but you're then going up against an Art now who will just keep doing it, right? It doesn't matter what happens and what throws at you. And I'm not sure if G2 mentally are ready for that again.
That's a good question, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. But just to follow up on that point, Art wasn't really that successful with it on Mirage either. He went 3 for 10 in opening duels, so he went down way more than he actually got the first kill. Of course, with Art comes the story that he creates space for his teammates, and that's what you need to see here in Nuke. But I think it's different when it comes to Nuke, because he's playing that outside area. On outside, he's alone, he's playing for himself, so he's not creating much space for his teammates. It is, as you said, ride or die for Art. If he's not winning the opening duels on the outside of the perimeter of Nuke, they are gonna struggle. They're gonna play 4 against 5 in a lot of rounds, and they can't have that against such strong individuals as G2. Another positive point I want to point out, Nico again having a good game, went 7 for 10 in opening duels. Hunter came alive, had some clutch moments on the B-bomb side. So everything you need individually from G2 is working. It's just as a team, they're not quite getting there.
And there's one part here that we've got to touch on for Furia, is you can get Honda ready for a fair few maps. He said he had 5 days practice with the guys. Nuke is not an easy map to fit a new player into.
No, it really isn't. And I'm trying to think, okay, where was Henny playing? Could Honda just fit in post by post? I'm not exactly sure he could, because Henny had a really tactical role as well with the AWP. Art outside, mostly playing with the rifle on the CT side, which means Henny had to do the lion's share of that job, moving around the map. It's a lot of responsibility for the new kid on the block. So don't you just take him and say, you know what, play inside or play ramp. It's very easy. You have one position, you got to hold it down. But then it also means, if you go that route, that you're going to move other people outside of their comfort zone. So it actually becomes like a question. How many people do we want to have in a comfortable position? Can we afford to have Honda lose the control of Yard potentially? I guess that's more questions than answer, but we're going to have to see.
Yeah, it's all about what we're going to see here from them. When it comes to G2, though, we already said that if they didn't get the 2-0, if they didn't win their map pick convincingly, we'd start to worry. And I got to question whether the time they needed, right? We give them the 3-month plan we say out for many of these teams here. Well, they've had that now.
Yeah, and there would be no excuse if they were to lose to Furia. Sure, it could be, you know, the same old song with, it's the first game of the season, we're not feeling comfortable, there was some jitters, you know, as Glaive was talking about for Astralis as well. It's always difficult to play the first game of the season, but the same story for Furia, right? If they were to lose, they could use this exact same excuse, so that nullifies itself. I think G2 as a team, they have to make 2021 their year, and they have to get off to a good start. Sure, if they were to lose here, they can still fight their way back through the lower bracket, but I want to see them win here, and I want to see them win convincingly if I'm going to take any stake in what I said before, where I did point out that G2 have the ability, or at least the individuals, to win the entire tournament.
I agree. And when we talk about jitters, right, I think Astralis showcased what it is to just shake it off and then destroy on map 2 and 3. Sure, they dropped the first map against EG. Wasn't really acceptable if you're the best team in the world, but then you see the reaction. Map 2, map 3, very dominant, a lot of authority. They make it clear that they are the better team. G2, you can have jitter, but then you have to shake it off. You have to show a better face. If G2 goes on to destroy Furia on Nuke, I could maybe give them Mirage as an excuse, as a mistake, and move on to the tournament. But if it gets close, then that mistake's just, that excuse is just not valid anymore.
And that's a big problem for him, especially if you're a G2 fan coming into it. Do you guys fancy that it could be a Fury? Do you see that in a potential with it?
I mean, I would still say G2 are the favorites, without a doubt. It would be a big surprise if Furia were to win, especially considering the map is Nuke. They're bringing in Honda, as you said. Not an easy map to slot in a new player, but there's definitely a world where Furia can make this competitive, and if you have a competitive game, it can go both ways. The thing is, right, what Match just said right here is we keep G2 up to such a high standard that we're talking about, even if they're winning and it's not convincing enough, that's not good enough for us, right? A win is a win, and that's always the most important thing, surely. But if you want to be a team, as G2 wants to, that can compete against Vitality, Astralis, and the likes of Na'Vi, they got to do it convincingly right here.
They do have to do it convincingly. We put G2 up there, high up within the upper echelons of Counter-Strike. Well, Furia came in with 0 expectations and not their full roster. We're going to a third and final map of Nuke between Furia and G2.
A 16-14 on G2's map pick, picked up by Furia to take us the distance to nuke. But Launders, in comparison to the last couple of times we've seen this head-to-head, something's a little bit different.
Yeah, Honda. It's Honda. I mean, it's been great. He's just been kind of fitting in. It's obviously not perfect, but enough to win Mirage, which was huge. On Nuke, I think this is where the preparation might... I think more importantly than Nuke is a hard map to prepare for, it's the map that comes in third. So it might be the map that they're least prepared for, and just because of where it is in the veto sometimes. Makes it a difficult one to play versus G2. Nico's fit in very well versus on G2, taking over Mini from Hunter. He's probably one of the best outside players by himself in the world, if not the best on this map. Really insane Mini player to have. And Henny, the last 2 times that they played against G2, was definitely Furia's best player by a pretty good margin. So Honda, big shoes to fill, and we'll see how ready they are to play Nuke in the first place.
Well, it's Hunter inside of the vents. Quickly dives downwards. We've got Art looking on the other side, scouring this Mini, looking for some kind of contact, but they just can't find a fight, at least not one that really favors him. He will get into the duel versus Nico, has to go for the reload, and he's caught between 3 CTs. That's a great first pickup for G2, but it does offer Furia a bit of presence down on the B site. Hunter has the doors blown off the hinges right in front of him. And now at this point, it's just take the bomb plant. Damn, get what you can. And maybe somebody like Honda can pick up a couple kills. I mean, he's got that first one, second and third. Honda looking for a potential third ace in this series. We are into the 2v2, and he sees this player back by ramp. It's Amanek with the tap. Honda, 4 kills to his name, and K Serato, he's slain. It has to be Honda. It has to be the third ace, and he rounds the corner. He takes it again and again and again.
Another ace! The world's easiest drive-by for Honda on the Glock. You kidding?
Can't believe
you
your
kidding?
eyes.
3 aces in his debut versus Tier 1 competition with 2 recorded matches on HLTV.
Boom. What a glow up. I mean, like 3, 4 of these kills are versus players not watching him, but that just is a testament to his positioning. Justified pop-off. Welcome to the big league, kids. You've got what it takes. Right back in with the force. Don't think for a moment that what we have had in this series, this high-octane play, is going to disappear for map 3. The electricity in the server is thick.
Like, they're not even crappy aces, too. They're all fast, they're all sick. And on important rounds, the pistol in map 3, where the question was, can Honda match up to the impact that Henny puts down on this map? Maybe he can in a different way, even if it's not playing with the same playstyle.
Amanek's gonna find a back turn, though. Good first pickup, K Serato, immediate trade back. Hunter, he's gonna get challenged here on the back of the A site. Honda gets the better of him, but it's costly. And Yuri catches Amanek before he can hit the ground. So the double deagle's all that's left here for G2. A 4v2 favoring Furia.
For just a moment, turns 2v3. They don't seem to want to take it any farther than this. Recovering the Galil and falling back as Nico. Nexa on the hunt for a gun of his own. And yeah, that's the round over and done with. Nice couple of kills. Another one for Honda. He's 6-0 on the match. I don't think this has ever happened before, man. When's the last time someone's got... I mean, it feels like a floppy moment where he got 2 1v5s in 24 hours. Yeah. Hunter 3 aces in 3 maps. But in his debut, it has to be the most impressive debut of all time.
One of.
If not the. Like, who has ever done that? I mean, in some aspects, we could call out parts of the system and how he's playing. It's not necessarily they're just dominant, but... And on an individual level, considering the lack of chemistry and experience, that is just something that we just cannot gloss over. If there's any trajectory to decipher from, you know, that level of play this early on, it just shows that there's just so much goddamn potential there, right? It's not really about G2 getting used to that. That could happen to them from any player. He was just good enough.
Oof. Quick trade frag. One of the 2 guns down for G2. Yuri's going to stay patiently tucked back behind the silos. We see G2 scrambling down into the lower halls, so they definitely have the presence in position, but do they have the tools they need for this job? K Serato, quick headshot, and he's going to keep his eyes up looking for another. The doorway's both smoked off. Amanek's going to try to apply the pressure. Vinny, though, comes off of the bomb plant, scrambles the aim of the 5-7, and the 4v2 is what we're left with. Looking like Furia, 3-0 start yet again.
That's clean. 4 alive as well. We'll try to go for minimal losses. A lot of incentive to get some kills. Damage isn't here for Kenny Essen. He'll try to mess with his opponent, gets the tag off with the deagle. K Serato eventually wins the duel, but Nico will find one for himself, and that takes out the majority of the players from Furia. Very successful round here from G2, despite losing. The save and the upgrade to the AK is a nice touch as well, and so it was a clean start, but yeah, they get some compensation for it, and walking away with this AK is a very nice win. Four frags from K Serato.
Yep.
Cleaned house.
Keeping it lively here on map 3. Pretty rapid pace to these rounds as well.
You'd love to see it.
Kenny S.
And
this zinger.
I was on Mirage where Furia ran out of time on that T side round.
Yeah.
Things looked really weird for a second, but they brought it right back. They got back into it.
Thanks to Honda.
When they yeah, exactly.
That clutch.
That's true. That's true. The 1v2. Damn, that's true.
So, talking about his debut, we're not only talking, aces out of nowhere, but also throwing in crucial clutch.
Yep, true.
For a 16-14 win. It's a big deal. When they were already facing a series loss, having not picked up their own map pick of Inferno, but now they've got a challenge here. We've seen G2 with good success early on CT sides once they have their weapons, and despite K Serato picking up the opening kill, it's Kenny S with the answer right back. Splatters art outside, and Nexa, well, he's going to have 2 players challenging him right here. Quick flick! Nice shots from Nexa. He manages to survive with 20 health the difference.
The way they came at him, it was a perfect fork. That couldn't have been better.
But they both looked at vents.
Yeah, and he just didn't give the second player any time at all. Very, very nicely done. 2 headshots in, and Nexa stays alive too, with vision on the bomb. Honda parked outside. Yeah, he's gotta get a new ticket. I think there's not enough space for him or time. He'll have to make some progress forward. Bomb still lower, and where is K Serato? Outside of Squeaky, maybe.
Yeah, walking around the A floor.
Okay.
Nexa, ooh, grenades though. Honda missing the mark again with that Molotov.
That was a very, very funny smoke on Mirage, and I'm only laughing because they still won the game.
Yeah, right.
But my goodness, what a smoke.
That Molotov was meant to go into heaven, which would have technically forced the feet forward for K Serato to pick up his kill. Instead, he dies, and we watch Honda save this AK. So G2 Esports, the moment they've got themselves guns, they've got themselves a round win.
Yeah, well, that's something nice. Do they hunt him? I don't think they... Yeah, they're not in a really good position to try to find him. He's just too far away. He went on a road trip, Connor.
You gotta stop, bro. They're gonna kick us off the mic.
Nothing else to do. Someone saves with 30 seconds. I'm gonna come up with a car pun. Okay.
Get it all out of your system.
This is the worst, most bun smoke of all time. Can we talk about that? It looks, first of all, that's a very generous angle. It looked way worse from even Art's position.
Yeah. Mark just did a really good job of making that look good. Now we're back in with what Furia can afford. 3 pistols in the mix, but we've seen Honda's Deegs.
Terrible nades. That's why Honda fits in perfectly.
Art's able to cross over towards mini roof, and around the corner he goes. Actually, wow, nice Kenny S. Hits that first shot, follows up with the second. 2 for 2. Damage comes through smoke. Hunter, frazzled, fires back.
Art said, space created, win the round. But he just died too soon.
I did my job.
Yeah. I put up my end of the bargain. Try to get the opening kill. They know Kenny's up in the heavens, but enough time has passed. That information has an expiry date. And Kenny, I mean, he's got a couple of opponents, and Yuri is just outside of his vision.
Just to the right of it. Yeah. Windows shatter down beneath him. Amanek now on high alert.
Oh, look how cloth. Oh, that's an uncomfortable bounce. I mean, it's like there's no threats coming at him from Mini, but now he's got to think about someone who might have wrapped around and waited outside the smoke.
Who put that edge there?
Yeah, it's like a little electrical box.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's never had any impact on any game ever until right now.
In a $1 million tournament.
Serves its purpose. Hunter, he's going to get aggressive here despite the low HP. He's got Nico just back behind him. And this actually makes K-Serato's job so much harder.
Yeah.
2T's back toward... Oh, wait! Hunter,
the kid,
he gets aggressive, dies, but that's okay. Nico trades and gets possession of the bomb, then goes one better. Aminek's going to hear this sound cue. Vinny caught off guard, and G2 doubling up their round count to the 3-2 lead. Furia still hold on, but their economy is gone.
Hey, it was a great round strategically from Furia. They do a lot with very little. The 2 kills were awesome inside of ramp, but the most important frag was the one Nico gets. Drops a bomb, and then allows Aminek to find someone running out of heaven to find Nico, and Nico obviously gets the last kill as well. Very, very tough from the 2 of them. Nice recovery to get back into the game. And yes, started out strong with an ace from Honda, but we are long past into round 6, and Furia are back onto pistols once again.
Not even a flashbang here for Furia to work with, so these are going to have to be some nasty dry peaks. But when and where?
Be a conversational eco, potentially. A pseudo pause.
All right, guys, in the next round, Honda, can you do that thing again?
Yeah, control room ace, please.
Blocks go barreling around the corners outside. Kenny S serves as a great distraction.
I love this Kenny S versus Art flying off of Mini saga that we've got going on.
Yeah, 0 for 2 is Art.
It's like watching Goku charge a spirit bomb for 4 episodes. We just don't know when he's going to throw it.
But it could be any moment.
Let's see if he ends up ever getting that kill. No, Kenny, it's a favorite spot of his. Like a lot of time. I mean, that's just where operas are. But he's very good from up top.
Perfect.
Watching, he's very good at hitting the shot on the player crossing. Secret over the smoke. He's maybe the fastest opera in history. So spotting people off of any small edge out there, very, very sharp, very quick, and very reliable. So that's why he's perched up in that position a lot. And let's see why Art wants to continue to challenge him. And if he will, he's got the Mac 10 this time. There's 2, this is kind of a little bit new for Art. A lot of the times on T side, it's like a lot of squeaky lurks that come out, but that got played, became a little bit stale. He started getting punished way too often. I'm not a huge fan of the T side of Furia for that reason. I feel like Art's plays are not, I think, a little bit one-dimensional. Let's see what happens here.
Damage through smoke. K-Serato, worse for wear. Caught by Nexa as they arrive down into the vents. There is, however, a T in here, but they're caught on the ladder. And he gets a second kill before, of course, K-Serato's able to get into the mix. Hunter, he could throw himself down here. If they think they've got a player still stranded inside of lobby, then Hunter, he's going to be in the middle of it all. We've got K-Serato over towards control. Vinny now down onto the bomb site. If he comes off of this plant and doubles back to Heisenberg, he's dead. And Hunter is hunting all the closer he gets, step by step. Perfect flash into the face of Vinny. He's an easy pickup. Yuri, he's able to get that kill upstairs.
Oh, he can stick this.
We've got a player fully sticking. That bomb is gone. 4th round for G2.
No one in to come in on the close. Yeah, that's it. They'll fall back, and they were hoping that it was going to be a tap, but Hunter was just too wise. Walking in through, knowing no one was coming in from behind. Super easy stuff. And G2 win the round. The vent drop is successful, and that's not the play I'm talking about. It's usually when Art will stand on the outside of vent and go for the kill on top of Mini, or walk out into, the kill on top of Hut, or walk out and try to kill the guy back site by himself. He's not doing that this game, which it's cool to see they're straying away from. The vent dives, critical part of this map. I think even if you don't want to be a team that vent dives a lot, you cannot be the team that everyone knows won't vent dive. So you've got to at least try it sometimes. You've got to draw out that utility. Some of the freest utility you can get is from the guy who comes up into heaven. If you've got him throwing his incendiary every single round, that's going to win you rounds later on in the game and overtime. So, like that they pose that threat. It's a super strong strat to have people go for the full-on vent dive, even with really good guns if they have the spawn to permit it. And yeah, I think it only fails because of some good awareness downstairs, that early rotation. Whoever it was at Nexa, he's the guy who's dealing with
sitting inside of the vent.
side. Yeah.
You could see them so desperate to get off of the ladder.
Right. They know the flank's coming in, but they know he's right there as well.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Ooh.
And Hunter can't survive the smoke spam from K Serato. Again, we get a couple players down the vent, but this time Nexa's not here. And therefore, Agent 007 here, Art, with 14 ADR.
Space created.
Job done.
This is one of my favorite angles outside.
Oh, hey there.
Limits you a little bit. That's a big opening kill.
Yeah, that's...
And I think Nico's position is kind of... Okay, wait. Hold on a second. Oh, they're planting the bomb lower. Yeah, there's no chance for Nico to get back into this round. Everybody else is way too far as well. They lose that opening kill with the K Serato spam into Hunter, who's sitting trying to deal with Squeaky, innocently putting some bullets back through the smoke. And, of course, you know, you poke the bear sometimes, it'll bite back. And that's just the name of the game, you know. He follows the tracers, kills Hunter, and that helps them win the round a lot more easily.
It's a round win, so we can't rag on it too much. But is that another instance of Honda kind of like coming out Squeaky, getting caught off, being caught when he maybe should have been on high guard? Like, the challenge he did through Hut into Amanek, Amanek could have been so ready for that peak, but he happened to be watching Mini. And then Honda takes another huge risk by just walking out Squeaky with no support. You know, in that position with
Art
a B plant. Yeah, Art 2.0, right? But it just goes back to what we were talking about on Mirage, where it's like sometimes Honda does get caught.
Yeah.
You know, there's time to learn. I'm not gonna bully the kid in his big debut. I think he's doing wonderfully. He's 7-6 at the moment, second most amount of kills. There's actually 2 players on Furia with 0 frags. Art and Vinny.
Yikes.
0-12 between the two.
Combine them. I mean, that does sound way worse.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry guys. I thought that would help.
That is rough. That is rough.
But hey, the game's tied and the economy is good. So it's never too late to turn it up. The time is now, Furia. Map 3, opening series of the Blast Global Finals.
They win the round, you know, in pacifist mode by getting into lower with just 1 or 2 casualties. So, you know, it was very clean. Yeah, so they find another way into a round very quietly. They found the open location. No one's protecting it. An interesting way to defend, and no one's rotating lower. Ooh, this is not a very great round here. Nexa, they just don't have the information to call either. It's really no one's fault except for the opening setup.
Ooh, Art's watching, and he gets bested.
Damn, he's been solid down here. Could he get more?
Well, the bomb plants over towards the corner, so that cannot be stopped. Flash for the peak, perhaps the second time around. Nexa sees nobody in the open ground because we've got 2 Ts from Furia very much anchored in on the back of sight. Honda's actually over towards Decon door, a little deeper than Vinny, who again is looking to get on the scoreboard. Nico creeping in, and Honda, this is going to be a tough hold. He gets neither of those frags. Vinny now has to turn his head around or else he is fully exposed, and this retake is about to rock Furia to the core. K Serato over towards ramp, a single kill. But there is still time for the defuse. G2, 5 rounds to 4.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. That was clinical. It worked on so many different fronts. They stayed very calm. Shout out to Nexa. That was definitely not a good position to be in. CT side leave ramp open. I love that they didn't overthink it. They saw ramp was wide open. They realized there's not that many people to gather sound except for maybe the turnpike player that quickly. Rotations are not going to be that easy to make. They don't overthink it. They get downstairs fast. It's all about Nexa getting his kill, maintaining control of control side. And I like that it's called control because I think that's such an important spot for the T's in the post plant. And just not dying is enormous. Getting a kill is even bigger. And then everybody else really just played it patiently enough, but not so much that they ran out.
Oh, Hunter falls
on the retake.
He slips off of the edge of, oh my goodness, the hut, where K Serato cuts down a second player. The Kovacs are dead. And Amanek, well, it's all on him to try and hold this. He does shave a player back into the 3v4. Not the best of spots. Yuri, he's hunting for Kenny, and that's an easy back turned. So it could be Furia to tie this game at 5 rounds apiece. We'll see. Amanek still alive and kicking, but only for another kill. And Nexa, man of the hour. Look at a clutch. 1 versus 3. Bomb plant front site. Vinny forced forward. Nexa sees the peak, gets the headshot, and almost has the chance. But of course, it's Honda with yet another clutch.
Another clutch. An important moment as well. This was the response round for Furia after losing one. That was very close with a good opening. This really would have taken the wind out of their sails. K-Serrato has been an absolute demon from inside on the squeaky, spamming through the smoke, getting 1 and 2 kills sometimes. Both Kovacs go down, and that is the site cracked wide open like a can of tuna.
Yep.
They going fast?
Looks like.
Maybe fake again towards ramp. Oh no.
Flashes out. K-Serrato leading the charge. It's Nexa at bat. Ooh, nothing other than damage on 2. Kenny shoots through and finds Art. 4v4. Hunter swings door wide, and that works out for his favor. Now that damage that was done by Nexa is significant because we've got about half health on Vinny and K-Serrato. They're getting prodded from all directions thanks to the utility. And Honda looks like he wants to get a bit more aggressive. Fake bomb plant from Vinny. Trying to elicit a reaction. Kenny S attempts to get into the action, but this smoke still keeps him out of it. Almost finds a shot through it, but instead that bomb's now planted. They've got 1 CT coming down from ramp eventually. That's Amanek. In the meantime, Nico, he keeps his eyes on Secret because they don't know where all 3 players are. And Amanek, he looks away. This actually gives a massive post-plant position over to Honda because he now has a great angle. Vinny distracting from the control room, and as he comes back down to the doors, he gets another kill. Honda reactivates. Imagine that. You get the kill on Amanek, you have the option to be a deep anchor, and instead he walks above their heads and plays atop the decon. I love the way Honda just throws himself back into the engagement instead of playing scared.
Definitely. It's the positional compensation of taking that risk. Going for the ramp play opens up an insanely powerful post-plant position, but as you mentioned, he gets the kill, he clears it out, knows no one else is coming from there, and recognizes actually the threat towards decon, and can fall back into a position in the site that appears risky. But if he gets there in time, it's a spot that they're never going to expect to see him, knowing that his teammate had just called, ramp was taken over. So this is really big stuff. Nice to see him kind of have the confidence to make those plays and take those timings, because it really gave the advantage to Furia, helped them win the round, assuredly. Now 6-5, and these two are such a good matchup. We're seeing very early streaks met by good adaptations. And very close halves overall. There is finally the lurk play that we normally see from Art. K-Serrato continuing his dominance here in Squeaky.
Yeah, that second player out in K-Serrato. Great trade, crucial moment. Off shot missed by Kenny. He sees his target. K-Serrato just having 3 in a row with still 3 to go.
I love the pace. So much versatility here. So many different flavors from Furia. We've got the outside takes early on that didn't work out. Then they turned to Squeaky, and then they turned to ramp. And some of those plays downstairs actually worked out well, but we had equally good and even better responses on the retakes from G2, right? Really scary to pull off retakes like that, but they do. And then Furia take it even to another level. They keep it just as fast, but now they're hitting upstairs. They're using K-Serrato. And it's really just the hardest set of rounds to win. It feels like another team, G2, would be dominating them. But Furia are constantly changing it up. Not afraid to keep the tempo just as high, but call brand new things. Really like to see that.
And we get those bank accounts from G2 bottomed out. Couple guys short on nades. Thomas in the mix for Amanek. Furia with momentum, man. The pace of this T-side's been electric.
Definitely.
And I am all aboard. Art with the op outside. Got a CT towards Mini.
Wow, I thought no way Furia would win this. Like, you know, nuke, but the way they're playing now, it's definitely, there's a case for it.
Another bad smoke, man.
Yeah, it's not quite, it looks like, wow, is it actually going to be a bait? Pulling him forward, oh my god.
Magnetized.
Yeah. It lures Nico in like bait.
Now Kenny S, he's changed up his angle. Nicely done. Repositions vertically, and you saw Yuri looking for that op shot into heaven. Instead, it's him dead and a man advantage back for G2. Nexus peak could net them yet another. Oh, but he starts to drop the shot, and now that repeat. The difference. And Vinny, well, he does have this bomb. He's on for the 1v3. Nobody nearby to stop him.
He's planning for ramp. Yeah, he can walk towards it. This is not a bad move. It's not planted perfectly, so he'll have to walk out, but he's waiting for the moment to get this kill and then push the choke point, but he's getting attacked from them back as well, so he'll have to pick this best timing, and he knows he's going to have to fight this soon.
It's 2 out decon. Flashbang, but they don't make the most of it. The other CT is about to peek on his right side. He fires off for the headshot, gets himself the first, but then Hunter can trade it without Kenny S needing to take the risk. And even if he gets that second kill, I feel like Kenny catches it.
He didn't really give him I thought he was definitely going to try to get control of ramp, whether or not someone was there. If he thought it was open, then it would have been a good spot to play from, but I guess the bomb was planted in such a way that he would have had to come out anyways for it. But yeah, you know, very low odds he was going to get all 3 kills standing out in the open in the site. But he gives it his best try and at least gets the plant. So that's supplants the income for this follow-up round. We see the ADR very high for K Serato, 15-8, making up for the missing presence of Henny here with some very impressive impact, especially towards Squeaky. And we are now rounding out another very, very close half on map number 3. No telling who's going to take pole position.
It's going to be a fiery finish to this first half. Outside control looking like Nico's at bat. Haven't really seen him fighting outside all too much, but this time he is successful, tapping away with the M4, trying to find the head of Vinny. Art, in the meantime, gets his 3rd kill of this half. Getting the better of Hunter, Nico falls back. Art and Honda barely alive as Amanek racks up the damage. 2 CTs within this A site. K Serato in a bit of a pickle, decides to dive down vents. Looking to join Vinny with that bomb.
Yeah, they're kind of late. I mean, Nexus
can wide swing.
Yeah, it's all about him.
Oh. Vinny crosses. Art looks to hold this in, and a big headshot. Considering he had 25 HP, that's massive. He throws the AK over to Vinny, and now Art's relegated to the Deagle. Even 3v3. Utility for Kenny. Kits on all. A frag grenade dunked on Art would be the end of his attempt in this 14th round. Let's see it. Damage exchanged. It's now only Vinny with a full HP bar, and he is very much committed to the site. Yet again, standing out in the open in a crucial post plant. Nico lines up 2 kills. Let's see it, Vinny. 1v3. He'll find himself nothing. And G2 jump on bomb just in the nick of time.
It's very consistent with G2, and I think it's just such a great way to come to the end of this half. Another round where the pace is good, so the entries are cool, going back and forth early on, very fiery starts. Furia get an open site, they plant the bomb, but they lose the post plant consistently. And I think that's just pure credit to G2, the way that they're playing it. So much composure, and I think it's more impressive to win a retake than it is to win a post plant as a T, of course. A lot of coordination necessary, calculating grenades and time, and staying cohesive on multiple points. But Nexa already backstabbed by one of his teammates. Let's see if they'll have an impact on this round.
Nico's gonna have to fall back there, but that's been called. They know Honda's about to address this, or do they? Hunter seems to get caught right off. And Nico now looking for the deeper angle. Amanek holding his ground. 2 kills to his name. Still 2 players slain versus G2. It's the 3v3 with Nico coming back into the mini. He's got 2 players directly to his right, but he is so damn blind. He doubles back. He disengages and then comes in for second servings. He will get the better of Art, but that bomb's now planted. And Nexa looking to wrap around towards Squeaky Door. Yuri trying to fight. He is all that's left over. A 3rd 1v3 attempt. Consecutive post-plant attempts. And G2 has been consistent in their retakes. Kenny's got that long-range angle. Nexa and Nico up close. Let's see it, Yuri. Only good for 1. An 8th round for G2 to close out the first half. 5 of their 8 round wins by way of retake.
Welcome to the ultimate Counter-Strike event of the year, the Blast Premier World Final. 8 of the world's greatest teams from across the spectrum of Tier 1 Counter-Strike come together in a titanic clash to crown the undisputed champion of 2021. Blast Premier member teams will start their journeys to greatness in the season group stage, where they will battle it out in 3 groups of 4. The top 6 performing teams will automatically qualify for the season final. The remaining 6 teams will be cast into the showdown, where they must fight for survival in a brutal single elimination format. Whilst there, they will each be joined by 2 top global teams by way of exclusive invitation. A further 8 additional teams will join the fight, thanks to Blast Premier Qualifiers, a new set of regional tournaments making it truly open for all. Victors of the showdown will secure their place in the season final to join their 6 adversaries. Here, the 8 finalists will go head-to-head in a double elimination knockout. Whichever team triumphs over their rivals in the season finals will automatically qualify for the Blast Premier World Final, getting ever closer to claiming their chance of being crowned the undisputed Team of the Year. The champions of both the spring and fall seasons will be joined by exceptionally skilled teams, including winners of the CS:GO Major, ESL Pro Leagues, Flashpoint tournaments, as well as the team who tops the global leaderboard. The global leaderboard is a year-long point scoring system that takes into account the performance of Counter-Strike teams from leading tournaments around the world. Teams accumulate points by winning matches and progressing as far as possible in these selected events. Teams hoping to qualify through the global leaderboard will have until November 28th to claim as many points as they can in a number of events, including both Blast Premier seasons and several leading tournaments. In the event of any duplicate winners, spots will be opened up to those who have fought their way to the top end of the leaderboard. These 8 champion teams come together for one last battle as they face off for a prize pool of $1 million. Who will go the distance and be crowned your Blast Premier World Final champion? Join us on the journey.
Three consecutive maps with 8-7 halves to start things off. And we know how close Mirage came in the very end. So Nuke, and I'm expecting more of the same.
Another very close second half, yeah. I mean,
let's see it.
Yeah, let's definitely I mean, I thought that the CT side was going to be, I thought we was going to be even stronger than that. A lot of them coming down to the retakes, and honestly, it was very impressive that they got there, but still, very, very strong first half from Furia. Super impressive already. Consider this a win for them in some sense, but you know, they're so close to the finish line now. I mean, anything goes. Let's see if Furia can actually pull this out. Win the best of 3 versus G2 without one of their best performing players versus G2 in an even more important tournament than last year.
Yeah. Oh my God. Not a single point of damage.
Can they miss?
Kenny S gonna answer back. Claps 1. Yuri is dead, but that is it. Did you see the fluidity of Furia?
I loved it.
The way they flew up that vent and just stuck USPs to the faces of G2. We are tied at 8 rounds immediately.
That was clean. We have had consistently strong starts for Furia, right? Yeah. USB ninjas.
Sorry, I was making sound effects over your question.
I was just gonna say they have like, how many pistols have they won?
A lot.
Yeah,
man.
it feels like they're winning most of the pistols.
They've gotten 3-0 starts in the first 2 maps of this series in the second half.
Oh,
you know
okay.
I mean?
Yeah.
They're always kicking off the second half with a 3-0.
Yeah, right.
That's what I meant to say. We'll get there.
Yeah. That's,
Will G2.
A lot of them.
A decoy. And 5 Glocks.
Right, the room of the silo. What's up?
I just realized we've got 17 kills and 17 and 13 kills for K Serato and Honda. And before that frag from Yuri, It would have been 17 for the rest of the team. So, you know, the big question was like, can they do it without Henny? And Honda very much filled those shoes.
Yeah, sure.
Here in the anti-eco, it's just easy pickups outside. G2 trying to challenge at a distance where their weapons are going to betray them. No questions asked, no surprises, no curveballs. 5 guys alive for Furia as they take their 9th round.
I think that's an important thing to take a look at as this half moves on. From G2's perspective, you know, their T-side nuke should not fail versus Furia, and especially when, you know, not everyone from Furia is firing off. On T-side, you can get away with it because one guy can get 2 entries and the whole round's over, but on CT side, you need to be a bit more even strength, and G2 have a very, very confident T-side to bring into play. So it's just going to come down to, like, does the bite meet the bark, right? Is the execution going to meet up to the strategy? And we've seen some misses from both Furia and G2, but G2 should have less excuses considering this is the lineup they've been playing with. So let's see if they can put together a clean T-side like we know they can.
Oh my, whoa.
Okay, that's their own molly, man. I don't, like, they're all just within, like, headshot.
They must just like the smell of burnt hair? I don't know.
Honestly, they just gave off so many sound cues and took so much damage from their own Molotov in a position they were going to push.
A little too clumped up.
They actually know that they're all here.
Ooh, wow. Right after the double scope. Art repositions and misses his second chance. G2 still creeping around outside as Amanek lingers downstairs. He's got a player getting all the closer. Vinny's back here just jump spotting the position. Nexa's going to find the kill versus Art. That was Art trying to challenge back towards CT spawn, so... Ooh, caught off guard! Hunter jumps into the side of the vent. Now Vinny, he just turned his back. They have no clue he's here.
I think he might flank this way, right? I don't know.
And they're not going to check it. Vinny.
Oh, he's just sitting waiting. He doesn't know where they've got off to. A kill comes in. Man, it's just down to 2 MP9s is the problem.
The anxiety.
Yeah, they're going to post up, stay here in control, wait for someone to make a move. Vinny, has he made? No, the bomb is going to run past. Vinny has an opportunity. He can just deny the plant.
Stop the plant. Oh, but he peeks out and Amanek gives crucial cover. The amount of minute timings that could have played into the favor of Vinny's hands. And instead, we've got G2, 3 guys standing with a post plant down on that B site.
That was a very awkward start to the rounds.
How weird.
But honestly, they didn't do a good job of containing there. I'm almost positive Art heard.
He's 0-7? Art. He's 7-0.
Okay.
Art.
I'm trying to be serious, man.
Oh, sorry, okay.
So Art was sitting outside a secret, heard them go into the Molotov, and like all of them take damage, and didn't see anybody else cross. So they knew they were down there, but no one was there waiting for like Hunter to come back through the squeaky. No one was pushed up to hold them in that angle, and then they got punished for it.
A little bit of a gap. Doesn't quite land it.
Leave that open pathway for Art. The event broken open. And yeah, Vinny's in a powerful spot as well. They're kind of giving up like an awkward space here, like sitting inside the vent, but they can maybe get a free peek off and fall back. And there's obviously only Nico here, but only we know that. They seem to be quite concerned about this position. Yuri's got a strong spot to hold against Mini.
About to walk right in, back turn. Nice headshot back from Nico. That is crisp.
That's a ridiculous trade, man. That's like basically a pre-fire or an angle that barely exists.
Again, they're kind of scouring the outside, looking for some kind of extension from the CT's Honda. What are you? Whoa, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, throws himself out into the mixed bag of angles.
Making a lot of noise there, considering they could have been anywhere.
Those are the moments we're talking about.
Honda moments. The position where Art is in now, I think he feels some pressure to try to make a play happen. The tease, it's very confusing this round.
Just, what? Art snaps that back. He's got a player back behind him, so Art, he can afford to get a bit aggressive. Vinny could catch them off guard. He's got to clear the rest of the bomb site, catching Hunter. Oh my god, but he takes so much damage that this still lends itself to G2's favor. K Serrato is going to make sound on his retake attempt, if he even plays it. He's got the kit.
No smoke.
Yeah, and not much time.
They're basically on ramp control as well, so honestly, they'd have to throw this. There's no other way around it. K-Serado's got to hope they're making a bad decision, say, I doesn't even go for it. Man, watching this round from Furia's perspective was very unnerving. Like, it felt like they didn't really have a clue as to what G2 were doing. Like, Honda making that much noise inside of Mini showed that they had really no idea what was going on in a very negative way.
Yeah.
Where he probably should have had some conception that they might not have picked the site yet. So the communication, I'm saying, is a bit off here. They had a... What?
Yep. What? Yeah, I mean, like, look at the way the fact that he got that AK should have been the upgrade he takes.
You could see.
Wow.
And we've seen Elige do this, like other players with the AUG, sit there on that angle and just like mow down 3, even though they know he's there.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful angle to kill people going towards Mini.
Nice trying to pump him up.
The motivation high, I like that. Yeah, Nico gets this absurd trade.
Honda's in the corner. P250 just can't quite catch too much. K-Serado's got himself a deagle kill. This is looking a little bit awkward. K-Serado coming back, but Nico's got the headshots just like last round. He gets those crucial kills that alleviates the pressure and adds rounds to the tally. This is going to be G2 with an 11-9 lead. Art, save that op. Try and transition it into the next one, as G2 will rack up some cash here. They've already got $10,000 in the bank accounts between Amanek and Nico, and leaving 4 players alive in this one, it's going to bode very well for this T side.
Yeah, still time to be prudent here in the second half. Oh man, there's a lot to unpack about what is transpiring so far in these final moments. It's hard to tell where the game's going to go. There's just so many directions. I feel like definitely both teams are still in it in a very big way. So little has been shown in the second half, even though there's been some kind of crazy moments, very close calls. And maybe it just comes down to, you know, the economy, basically, to dictate who's going to come out ahead, because right now there's just so many ridiculous kills that happen and awkward rotations. Like, I wouldn't say either team's actually playing that great right now. Like, these past couple of rounds, maybe... just because it just seems a little bit too chaotic in a way that it feels like it's getting past Furia, but also G2 don't know like all the positions that are being pushed or where the information is being taken back. And so somewhat of a guessing game, but we see G2 are taking over a little bit, plus they're on T side, so it's a bit easier for them if they do lose players or rounds to continue to buy.
Dangerous game. Oof. And Art misses what could have been a crucial opening kill.
It's actually nuts. Look at that from Nico's, perspective. He tries to bait that shot out.
Audio being offered.
Yeah, that's true.
Aye. Again, audio cues. Throws it up close. Nex is on high alert.
Yeah, true.
But it is safe to say these are the kinds of things that somebody... I mean, clearly Honda is skilled. Mechanically, individually, we've seen some awesome highlights coming out of him. He's got the clutch factor, but he has never in his life been punished this badly for those sorts of mistakes.
Sure, yeah.
Remember, this is his debut. And so, it's not too surprising that he's going to have to go through the bullying process of being punished for these kinds of moves. Still, a great round for G2. Opening kill very quickly given over as Art misses his one chance at that op shot. Nico is just looking so on point. Absolute killer instinct in a few of these rounds. And that lead slowly but surely extending to the favor of G2. And Yuri, it doesn't look like he's going to get out of here at all. K-Serado just trying to hide. Just trying to not be found. He's been spotted. Sprays down the first one, and Kenny no-scope through the floorboards. Because why the hell not?
Well, okay, maybe we can get that one. What the hell happened there? Okay, look out. He just stops on a dime. He doesn't even cross all the way around. Art tries to shoot, and you can see more of Art than Art can see of him. And here's where Honda's actually still in animation. He throws that smoke as if there's no one on the other side of it. So he's thinking a bit too far ahead. And if he was a bit more prudent, threw that smoke down and then pushed, he could have still actually got the kill because there was a whiff. So, yeah, definitely feels like it is the experience and like not knowing where he's going to get punished that it keeps catching him off guard. And I think part of the charm of him is he knows when he needs to get somewhere. but in getting there, sometimes he makes some missteps.
Sure.
But it's good that he's trusting himself to like make confident reads like that. But it might end up costing them the game. Not just his plays, however. Art has died a few times outside. G2 are starting to look more and more comfortable, and again, they're on T side, so it's a bit more forgiving to make mistakes for their economy. It's the CT side that really have to be a lot more clinical about how they win.
Ooh, Hunter. A bit of a risk. Shotgun from Art comes wide. 2 kills immediately for G2. 5 versus 3 versus a trio of Deegs. Vinny's at bat with 1, but again, successful trade kills coming through for G2, who will now lead 13-9 with a 5-round streak of round wins.
Yeah.
Very much charging up here on this T side.
Yeah, it seems unlikely they're going to slow down at this point. So let's see what can be done differently. Art, he can't be playing by himself outside like that. That's not working. Now, we did see some great adaptations when some of his opening plays didn't work on these other 2 maps. So what is the change they're going to make is the question. Of course, you know, if you know that someone's going to go outside, you can get in their face if you want to, get that early information. But you can also try to subvert the offense completely, go for a lobby crunch, play from secret to deny from there. There's lots of options on Nuke on CT side to not simply play in front of the smokes outside red. Why is Vinny sneakily eating like he's in a movie theater that he snuck snacks into? It's all good, man. You won't get in trouble. 4 rounds ahead are G2 on fire, and yeah, economy's just bustling. Like, this will be tough. I'm definitely focusing on Art for this round. You know, we see what the whole plan is based on what he does and where he takes the risks. And yes, it looks like he's just going to call in for some support outside this time. Playing 2 close outside mini with him on the back of red, waiting for the cross, maybe hoping they don't actually come this time. Not sure. But I think this makes the most sense. He's aligned slightly here with Yuri. But he's not up front. And Nico, yeah, will be a telling goal between him and him.
Grenades start to sail forward. He just threw his smoke, so had that molly met his feet, he'd be doomed. Nico gives chase to Yuri. Art decides to come out from this. Man, despite the unsuccessful attempts, Art still looking to brim with confidence on these plays. Good spray from Honda through smoke.
Okay.
That's a bit of a gifted 5v4. You hang on to that, and you try to take your 10th round win with it. Man advantage for Furia, not something we've seen them work with all too often on the CT side, but they opened up ramp G2, and they're able to just parade their way down into the B site. Honda down here trying to stop the bomb plant, but already deep control. Amanek on the right side of this. Honda, again, just getting so aggressive that we see G2 caught off guard. Amanek's able to answer, swings the doors out. Honda not able to add a 3rd frag to his name, but 20 seconds remain for G2 to try and close this.
They could potentially get a safe plant in here, and Art, he won't have line of sight on anybody to help him with this. And then T comes out, and Hunter could win this duel. Could be everything. Comes down to Kenny S in the 1v2. He's in the dark spot. He's going to have to hit both shots.
And he's already scoped in, so any movement on this scope will give the audio cues. This guy's like a magnetized Cyclops, flashbang high. He peeks wide, and he's got them both turned, but no kills to his name, and a 10th round on the scoreboard for Furia.
The action opping was a very cool attempt. The flashbang goes high, so that's awkward to try to turn from. Almost is able to find one. If he gets 1, he can play the delay, but he wasn't going to sit and wait until he found that first. And this is the very important kill. Actually, an amazing round by Honda. And yeah, it almost had this effect of him teleporting with how fast he to lower. That is really great to see. You know, confident rotations, and sometimes it looks bad, sometimes it looks great.
A testament to your point.
Yeah.
It's not. He knows when he needs to do something or get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just he also makes a lot of noise in the process. But those are 2 moments where noise is not a factor. Spam the smoke because you know what's up. Go for the rush into the bomb site and deny that bomb plant. It worked out wonderfully. They put an end to that spree of victories. 5 in a row for G2, and Furia answer back, but Nico getting the head of Art. We have seen him die outside more than once or twice.
This is the kind of demo you don't want to watch. Okay, if you want to learn from Nico, he's controlling outside like a player, like no other player can at this point. He's killed Art so many times. He's put pressure on Yuri. He's activated this lower hit, and he's taken down the offer. And this is something they didn't do last round. But every time they have, it's almost always resulted in a round 1.
Honda gets bullied back from his CT peak. 4 Ts downstairs. Shoulder to shoulder. An Armada on the offense. But they're going to play this patiently, go for the boost, look for the angles. Counter-terrorists only now arriving. Honda, this is a big play, but he's met by resistance. 3 Ts ready for the peak. Vinny slips into the dark corner, and if they pinch this from Decon, he's doomed, but he finds the better of the timing, and Vinny goes for a little bit more. Gets a second kill before Kenny cancels him out. 2v2, and Yuri hits the dirt because Kenny S is on point with this op. Plenty of time for the bomb plant. Let's see it, K. Serrato. He's already made some sound.
Oh, he can't be too shy about this one. He's got enough time to do a running fake like that, try to bait it, but look, he's already turning away. It is too tough, man, to win these 1v2s on lower. He needs more of a setup, and Kenny S, with the swiftness, finding that second kill is everything, opens up the plant position, brings it to a 2v1, just straight up player advantage, and that is the dropped op from Art outside once again. It has to be underscored, highlighted, written in italics, okay? The fact that Art is dying to Nico over and over again, but not just that he has the right, with an op, to try to take that duel versus a rifle anytime he wants, okay? He's supposed to win. But they just cannot kill Nico because he is cut from a different cloth. And Nico has the confidence to call in a match like this. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to control outside. I'm going to open up this round for us. If not, I'm going to live so long. I'm going to be such a nuisance. I'm going to bait out tons of grenade. I'm usually going to get the kill and just do that over and over again by himself. It makes it feel like there are 6 players on the map. And it is unreal, the audacity of him to do it over and over again and to still win versus Art opping.
And this map now has shades of Inferno. Streaks of victories from G2, a one-off round win from Furia. Their entire economy on the line here in round 25. MP9 for Honda. Single kit on K. Serrato. And a far more tempered set of aggression from G2. They hold the line, they wait, and they throw some utility into the A site. This could definitely fluster Furia, but Art hits the blind shot into Nexa. That's a big pickup. Again, not often that they find these 5v4s, so they absolutely have to make the most of this one.
Yeah, but listen, they actually, G2 are compensated. They move into lower off of this, and they know Art is not outside watching. So this means not only do they cross this time, but this time Art can't even say that they did.
But he's in position to try and stop it. They're going to go for the side peek. Let's see if Art has what it takes to flick into this. They miss the boost, go for the double peek. Nico killing Art through the floorboards, and a 4v2 is what we're left with. Nico, though, 15 HP. Minimal health to work with.
Any nade?
But Kenny S, we've seen some slick shots. Let's see what he has to offer as him and Nico both take one. Kenny delivers the double. And K. Serrato so far removed from the situation that he goes to save again. 15 rounds for G2.
Another abysmal situation for K. Serrato. All he can see is the kill feed in disappointment as he walks away from another 1v2. Another critical 2K from Kenny S. A 2v4 between him and Nico. And fantastic shots all around. Look at this. With the accuracy and the swiftness for match point of all things. Unreal stuff here from G2. That was a losing round, but they did make some critical plays into lower with speed to get a lot of progress done early. They did have to lose Nexa early on, but they got into lower. Art was in the position on the stairs. They just traded him out, and the rotations were just far enough away. Nico throws the right Molotov to the left side of ramp, allows for the plant. They work together in perfect harmony. Another timeout would be called. That is a deflating round to lose, but a very, very impressive 2v4 for a G2. That's one to remember.
4v5, turn 2v4, results in a round win.
You said it. 14 HP. And for some reason, it still felt like they were in it just because they're moving at such a good tempo. And then they deliver those first 2 kills. And then in the 2v2, they're actually in an advantage with the op, even though Nico's low, because they can lurk around. And that's just, K. Serrato, once again, he can clutch these rounds, 1v2. But, in those situations, they're not going to throw them away.
5 map and match points G2 have not looked immortal, but the round wins consistent. 5 chances to close this opening match at the Blast Global Finals. Nico creeping and crawling into the A site. He finds Vinny. Look at that setup. Fury had no idea that he had allowed Vinny to die like that. And now Nexa looks to make the most of this position because they just shaved the player off. Sure enough, Art playing with his nades, caught out. And it's now a 4v3 for G2 as they look to sink their teeth into the A site. They've left Hunter outdoors. 2 counter-terrorists over towards Mini, but 1 doubles back towards Heaven where they're met by a Molotov. They have to wait. Flashbangs go outwards and Honda, he's stuck on the ladder. Hunter creeping ever closer. Nails slowly being hammered into the coffin as K-Serrato finally has to commit to a clutch. But at what cost? A 1 versus 4, utility in front of him. There is no chance he wins this. G2 take the series.
A perfect round to end on. Such good coordination from G2 throughout the second half. A clinical T-side, and it had all the fixes. Some clutches, some great entries, ridiculous refrags, a very impressive map from G2 across a very impressive map from series from both teams. That was fun to watch. It was explosive. It wasn't perfect at first, but it was impressive for a number of reasons. For Furia, for Honda, for G2 coming in for this tournament to start the year, they're looking like the 4th team that are a threat to actually win this event.
What's nice is that we learned on the CT side of Inferno, we've seen improvements from G2. The T side on Nuke looked awesome from G2. And the fact that that second half would have been far harder had they not gotten away with what was 5 out of 8 round wins by way of retake. So the CT sides from G2 looking good. The offense great as ever. And this is just super promising for a team that a lot of us were kind of painting as the dark horse at this event. Astralis and Vitality, Na'Vi even, keeping their eyes on this challenger. We're going to go ahead and hand this over to Banks to close the day. What an awesome way to kick off 2021.
Thank you very much, Scrawny and Launders. Now, there's a fair few things I agree with that comment, but I'm not sure. I'm currently thinking G2 are in a position to do very well here if they deliver like that. I need to see a hell of a lot more.
I would say this map was the most convincing we have seen G2, right? They looked in control. I know the scoreline is not that one-sided, but I agree with Connor's sentiment, right? On the CT side, you could see how their retakes were organized. They were playing the time right. They were waiting for the right moment to pounce. And then you move on to the T side, and here, for the one time in this series, G2 were in full control on the T side. They pushed Furia out of their comfort zone. They waited them out. Nico was doing a tremendous job outside, making life miserable for Art and Yuri, and then they were just waiting out the mistakes, and mistakes were happening.
I fully agree. The only reason why we even can stand here and say that it was somewhat close, and at some point you could think that Furia had a chance of winning, was because they won both the pistol rounds and converted as well. Thinking about it, if you win Nuke 16-10 in a rather 16-10 in a rather convincing way, and you lose both pistol rounds, you're onto something good. So I agree with Matthew. I think this was a very dominant performance from G2, and one that gives me hope in them, moving into the tournament. Sure, map 1 and map 2 could have been much better, but the Nuke looks solid as hell.
We've got to talk about Honda, though, right? Because he did at least step up and stand strong against some of these incredible players he's got to go up against. And this is his first time even doing it. 3 aces across 3 maps.
I guess we have reasons to be hopeful for his future, right? If it was ever one way to start your career at the top level, is having 3 aces in the same series, right? I think he was never afraid to take any duels. At times, maybe a little bit reckless, but it comes with the territory. You want a young player like that to make mistakes. I want a new player to commit too much, to commit too often, because he is not afraid to fight. And we could see in terms of mechanical skills and in terms of just raw talent, he's got it. The question is, can you match in all the other departments of being a pro player? But that we're going to need to see time. We're going to need to give him time. But what we have seen from Honda was pretty promising.
He made, you said, 3 aces throughout this game.
Yep.
Those were very impressive aces. I also think he's going to finish the game with the lowest ADR on the entire server. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I've never seen a player, have those highlight moments, have that, ability to go in around and just win it by himself, do an ace 3 times in a match against G2 and then still be the worst, ADR player on the server. I think that's quite unique. He had, moments in the game where he was looking good, but he fell out way too much. And that was a problem of, let's say, growing pain for Honda.
Yeah, and you've got to obviously factor in probably nerves of all of this as well for a young guy like that. But for Furia, we know where they do stand, right? It's the waiting for Junior and playing out of Honda across the rest of this. For G2, though, it's maybe trying to refine themselves a little bit further.
Yeah, for G2, I think they should consider the job is done, right? They have beaten Furia, they should have had, and now it's done. It's out of the picture now. They should question how did they lose the second map and why was Inferno so tight? These, for me, should be the discussion, the talking points when they're going to do debrief together, because we know they're in boot camp and they will debrief that game and reflect on that one. Nuke was a good blueprint. Nuke is something they can replicate. The way they approached the map was correct and they were in control. What happened on the first and second map, that's for the coaching staff to figure out.
Well, let's figure out a little bit more by talking to one of the G2 players. We've got Hunter standing by with us there. Hunter, not exactly the easiest game out here coming into this one, but I got to come on to this Mirage to start off with there. What do you think was missing for you guys?
Good evening, boys. First of all, like Mirage, I don't really know what happened. We started good on this T side, then we lost 2 or 3 core rounds after 4-0 or something. Then, but it was okay, half 8-7. Then we switched back to T side, to City side. We were leading 12-10. We won 4 rounds in a row. We were doing just default, and then later we wanted to change something because we thought they will change as well something because we were playing really good this default. But they are Furia, they are stubborn. They will do whatever whatever they need to just jump through the smoking window and things. So yeah, like we lost some clutches as well. So yeah, we need to talk about everything and fix those things for next game against Astralis, because like first game everything is possible. I mean, in the year, new season. So the most important in the end is that we won, and that's it. Yeah.
And how are you feeling after this game overall? Do you feel like you got rid of some of that rust that we often see when you come back off a player break?
Yeah, as I said, the most important in the end is like to win this first game in New Year. Like we are feeling really good, we are feeling confident. We are having really good boot camp still. Like we had